Yo, 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 what's good, everybody? What's good? This is your boy, Big Op, also known as Op from the Norm 18. I got a great show for y'all tonight. So as you see, the thumbnail said black folks debate each other instead of the candidates. Also, picture says whose plantation is better. And the reason why it's named that is because both of us don't seem to do our history or, both parties that we talk about. Me and JVJ, we always talk about this. The Republicans had our votes, anonymously, like the most in the beginning. You know what I'm saying? No problem. They so-called freed the slaves, got our votes. But at the same time, they were saying they don't want us here. Certain bills that tried to be passed, they didn't always go through. And then a lot of times they would say, stay over there. Don't come over this way. Then next thing you know, fast forward, the Democrats got our votes, even though at the time a lot of them didn't even want us to vote because they knew where we would vote. So they would try to bully us, threaten us about our lives, even. You know what I'm saying? But we ended up going over there. Got some things that we wanted, but then next thing you know, they got stagnant on doing what they were supposed to do for the black community in this country, regardless of us fighting in the Civil War, world wars, whatever war you want to name. Regardless of what we did and all that we went through, it was still a lot of bullshit that we had to deal with. But it's all good because now we got brothers like us that's in this place where we're not taking the bullshit no more. You know what I'm saying? It's more people becoming independent, but I wish it would be more and more. You know what I mean? Let's go out the policies that we need. We see what the Democrats are doing right now while they're in office. They're giving everything that's needed to be given to other people versus us, people that are not even from this country, in the ways that they do us. So it's really, really sad, but in reality, this is a business move. Don't let nobody try to trick you off your square and try to tell you that you are wrong because you're not gonna vote for somebody that's cosplaying black. We ain't doing that shit no more. If we want to really get ahead and do things and get the things that we deserve, we got to fight for them, and make our voices be heard. A lot of people may vote one way or the other, some may not, and I don't blame them. So this video, I need y'all to make sure y'all do something for me. Make sure y'all like. You just not checking out the show. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Show your love and support. You know what I mean? We want to hear your voices as well. But this show is going to be a show from Revolt. This one black chick, I can't say sister because she started acting real ignorant. That's going to make the show very chaotic, stupid, and immature. That's what we're going to be watching. Us going against us. You know how we do. Don't nobody do it better than us, right? So y'all go ahead and get comfortable. I'm gonna let the beginning play for a little minute before I really come in and give any kind of commentary. Um, Brother JVJ might pop in sooner or later when he feels triggered. I'm sure. So y'all go ahead and relax, get your vices, you know what I'm saying, and enjoy the show. Jay, go ahead and roll the film.
What's happening, everybody? It's your girl, Tesla Figaro, the chief political correspondent for Revolt News. Thank you for being here. We are live in our Atlanta studios for a historic night. We have the Harris-Trump debate, something that we've all been waiting on. First time ever. And we are streaming it right here live on YouTube for you. So I want to make sure that you do not leave the chat. We are going to stream the debate live so you won't miss anything. But most importantly, even during our commercial breaks, I want you to come back, hear what our special guests have to say. We have a live, beautiful audience full of black, beautiful faces from every side, Democrat, Republican, independent, activists, organizers. We welcome everybody. Get in the chat box tonight. I want you to invite about 5 people. That includes the trolls. I'm putting you to work tonight. We need the bots, the trolls, the real folks. Let's get it in. Let me give first a thank you to Revolt News, Black-owned Revolt News, for making this possible. Can we give a quick round of applause? Right here in the Black Mecca, Atlanta. Very, very important. No other network is doing this, to be able to have black independents, Republicans, Democrats, activists in one room having a discussion on what is important to us. This is The Culture Speaks. I'm going to go quickly around the room to give our guests an opportunity to give their name and their affiliation so we can see what we're going to get into tonight. And we might, before if we have enough time, we're going to talk about should Kendrick or Lil Wayne, should he be in the debate? Should he be in the? Should we debate about that? But before we get into who should do the Super Bowl, let's deal with some politics.
Azad Ahmadi, Georgia Black Republican Council. I'm one of the committee leaders there, one of the on the leadership team there. Former United States Army officer, veteran, multiple combat deployments, business leader, small business owner, corporate America junior executive, etc.
Okay, you heard it. Well, one quick thing. One thing that you're looking for tonight that you want to hear in the debate?
Yeah. So I'd like to see how Harris tackles the issue of standing on the record that Biden and herself have created over the last 3-4 years.
So you want her to stand on business?
I want to stand on business and say, hey, look, these are the outcomes of the policies that we pushed. I'd like her to stand on it, like her to defend it, like to see her defend it.
Mm-hmm. Now, should Kendrick or Lil Wayne?
Lil Wayne. I'm rolling with Wayne.
Let's go with Wayne all day.
I'm going with Wayne easy.
Well, hey, y'all. I am Michaela Montgomery. I am the founder of Conserve the Culture, and I am a coalitions director for the Trump campaign. So that should tell you all you need to know. I'm also Amaya's mom. Hey, I don't got all the titles like my friend over here, but yeah, that's me. Y'all have seen me. Some of y'all know me. But yeah, I'm just here to talk to y'all. So how y'all doing?
One thing you want to see? No, absolutely. One thing you want to see tonight from the debate?
Tonight, I would like to see Kamala Harris go more in depth into these issues that she decided to drop on her website last night. I think that what I was able to read was pretty general. I think that these were pretty, nice promises in theory, but I would like to see how she plans to actually put them into action.
Okay. So some implementation.
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick or Lil Wayne?
Definitely Lil Wayne.
And so this is going to be interesting. So why Lil Wayne? I'm just curious.
Oh, well, I grew up on the Carters, so okay. I don't really know.
So you think New Orleans, they owe it to New Orleans?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Okay. All right, Lil Wayne in the building. Okay.
How you doing? My name's Elway Amaker, member of Emerging 100 Black Men of Atlanta. I'm a Democrat. What I want to see tonight from Kamala Harris, I want to see her be poised, educated. This is going to be a job interview for the country. So I want her to speak about the issues, avoid the personal attacks, because we know that's going to come, right? That's going to be a major thing she's going to do. A lot of fallacies going to be thrown her way, but at the same time, she can navigate that. I think she'll be all right.
Lil Wayne or Kendrick?
Now, I'm going to take the emotion out of it. I want to say Lil Wayne so bad, but at the same time, I understand. I've seen Lil Wayne at the Drake concert. Yeah. The time has, kind of hit him a little bit. Right?
So Joe Biden, so you basically saying he the Joe Biden?
Nah, listen, you said that not me. You said that not me, but right now Kendrick has the momentum. He has the juice, he has the chance.
Momentum.
He's doing what's happening right now, and I think that's going to be a very interesting Super Bowl fat. He might even bring out Lil Wayne. They got Mona Lisa together. There might be something we
Mona Lisa's a cold
Listen,
yeah.
Get me started.
Yeah, cold wet.
My name is Geraldine Lake. If you follow me on social media, you know me as Indescribable. I'm actually a lot less professional than everybody else up here. I'm a full-time content creator. I don't consider myself a political activist, but some of my content is political in nature. And I'm independent, but I am here obviously in support of Kamala Harris. And what I'm looking forward to most tonight is seeing her do what Black women always do. Unfortunately, we always have to justify and come in and argue our side and prove why we deserve what we deserve. But she's overqualified. And as the gentleman to my left stated, we're going to see her be educated. We're going to see her be poised. And we're going to see her win. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Quickly.
I'm from Memphis. Can we put Glorilla in it?
I know that's right. 40-inch weave, 613.
Listen.
I'm your auntie Glorilla. A quick question before we get into the first topic. Hey, I love me some Glorilla now. First quick topic. I noticed everybody's talking about what they want to see from VP Harris, but nobody said, so Trump don't have to explain nothing to nobody?
The policies he's laid out are non-existent, right? I mean, unless they know what they are, non-existent. Yeah. He has 20 outlined from the GOP. Immigration, they're going to talk about that. Obviously, they're going to talk about men and women's sports. That's going to be what they're talking about. That's something that the country cares about as a whole. We care about the price of food, housing, medical expenses, the things that actually impact our day-to-day.
Okay, right? So you're basically saying you don't want to hear nothing he got to say.
I mean, if he got something to say, let him say it. But I doubt it's going to happen. I promise you.
But I agree that we want to hear about the economy, the price of food, the price of groceries, cost of rent and everything like that. But we've lived through a Trump presidency. We have no idea what a Harris presidency is like. In which case, she has to come in and yes, she has to explain herself. She has to let us know what she plans to do. We know what Trump plans to do. So, and me, I work for him, so I know what he plans to do.
I don't want to cut this.
Go ahead.
I want to get back to the root of your question. Ain't nobody talking about where Trump is on the issues, because Trump been talking about the issues since the last presidency, and he's been consistent in that regard. Harris has been in no man's land until today, when she dropped Project 2030 or whatever, the new Green Deal or whatever it is on the website. I haven't had a chance to take a look at it, but ultimately, she's nowhere to be found. And I mean, that's a sentiment that's running through the Black community today. Now, there may be people in the room who feel otherwise, but I'm fortunate enough to be in the community, and those are things that I hear.
Well, I thought that was interesting and nobody brought that up, so thank you for answering that question. I want to get straight to it because this is our pre-show, and then we're going to watch the actual debate. We'll be talking during the discussion, the commercial break, and then we'll have a post show, just so you guys make sure you stay right there. But let's talk about the gender gap. Black voters in this 2024 election. According to Pew Research Center, there are more Black men in favor of President Trump than Black women. There are more Black women in favor of Vice President Harris than Black men. So we're going to get into it. Let's take a look.
In a million years, you would never get me to vote for Kamala Harris. You can put a gun to my head.
They are actively out here villainizing Black men for not wanting to vote for Kamala Harris. And I've said it before, and I will say it again. They think they own us.
The women that are telling Black men that they have to vote for Kamala Harris, it is going to remind Black men of every bitter baby mama.
I don't think Kamala should be in the position as Biden. I think he needs to find someone else.
They offered me $10K for an interview with Kamala Harris. I don't want your money.
I think she like if she anything, she like Black and Indian, but she's not really like from that life. You know what I'm saying? Like she didn't grow up in Black life. You know what I'm saying? Like,
The thing that hurts Kamala the most is that she has been part of this administration since day one. And the American people are just fed up with it.
What's the disconnect with Black men?
It's easy, man. It's really, really easy. Black men are working through the world logically. At the end of the day, they associate the Democrat Party today's masculine, heterosexual Black male, make a long story short, associates the Democrat Party with having separated them from their families over the course of the last 60 years. And that's a very sensitive topic to discuss, but an uncomfortable truth that we need to deal with. At the end of the day, for the first time, Black males have an opportunity to vote against a prosecutor. I believe the young lady was prosecuted, right? They have the people who have really been harmed the most have the opportunity to sort of cast a vote in a different way, and they're standing on that. And that's again, I get the privilege of being in the community, and that's a recurring message that I hear.
Other side of it.
I believe that
one of the guests come to the mic if you have something to say. After you get to, no, I want to hear from Black men. So come to, somebody can come to the mic. If somebody wants to come to the mic next, let's get into it.
I believe us as Black men are suffering from misinformation. That's been my main platform on my socials. What I've been speaking about is the misinformation plaguing the Black community. Number one, look at exactly who you showed on that screen. These people do not know what the issues or know what even they want from the presidential nominees or anything like that. When it comes to the stimulus check, you know, the conversation surrounding that people feel like that Trump gave them the stimulus check. I always wondered why he wanted his name on it so bad. I didn't know that the United States Department of Treasury's name is on every single stimulus check that's happened. Obama gave us one. Bush gave us one. We've always had these. Even Biden gave us one. But no one talked about that because they were not so vain to do that. But Trump had the ideology that, hey, I put my name on it, they'll associate with it, and they'll thank me for it. And I didn't think that was going to work. But clearly, based on what we've heard from a lot of these people, that's what's happening.
Can we keep it real? Can I ask you a real question?
Sure.
Are y'all feeling a way that she's with a white man? Are we going to be honest?
No.
I just want to know.
I didn't have a chance.
I mean, you know.
Yeah. So you know you're not. But is that an issue? Like, I want to really.
That's a great question.
Like,
you know what? Here's what it boils down to.
So hold on, let me just put this out here. Wait a minute. I'm feeling some resentment in the building. I just want to put the conversation out there. And we're going to do more of these shows because I want to bring it back and have a conversation on relationship and all of that. But I just want to put it out. Black women, we feel away. I'm just gonna keep it real. Black women gonna keep it real. We feel away when we see like if Obama had a white wife, we would feel away. Raise your hand. We feel just like a little bit of a way. We're gonna be honest about it. Let's be real about it. What sister's gonna be real about it? I'll be real about it. They don't want to tell y'all. They would feel away. So I just want to know. So we're looking at all of the Black congressmen with their white wives, but I want to just keep it all the way above. I just want to keep it, and all Republicans, by the way. I just want to keep it all just above. I mean, I just want to say that is because I talk to Black men all the time. You know, we went to Chicago to barbershops. I engage a lot with Black men, and I just want to, since we're here with all Black folks, let's just be honest. There's some men. If Denzel Washington had a white one, we feel away. Not so much if somebody, you know. So I just want to be honest about it. Is that a part of it? Is it because I've heard Black men say it. I've seen Black men say it. If she has that white husband, I got a problem with that because who she sleeps with, like Dr. Umar Johnson has said and many others said, makes a difference in how they feel in her support for Black men. Are we gonna be honest about it? Or are we gonna play about it?
That's a very true statement.
It's a true statement.
It's a very true statement. And I mean, she's
All
not
right.
going to do too much.
Pause it right there real quick, Jay. So to keep it real with you, it's only certain Black men that have brought that up. In all honesty, we ain't that much concerned. So I'm glad that she did bring that up. She did bring up the fact that, you know, if it was the other way around, if Barack was married to a white woman, they was not gonna be feeling it. Like let's keep it real. And if he was, he wouldn't be able to show his white wife that much. I mean, you know what I'm saying? We just got to keep it gangster. We know that it would be an issue. But Black men ain't really tripping off the fact that she got a white husband. Nobody said nothing. No, I see you, Jay. Yeah. She not like us. I feel you. But at the same time, no brother has said anything. The only thing I see brothers talking about is the policies. That has been the main concern, and that lets you know that we're able to starting to be a lot more logic. They're saying that a lot of Black men, there's more Black men going towards Trump's side than there's Black women, but Black women are starting to rise up with that too. Like I said, I wish we would be more independent. You know what I'm saying? There are still other candidates that you can actually vote for. But I think that's a, actual thing that she should bring up. You know what I'm saying? I understand it. And then in Atlanta, you look in the crowd, seeing a lot of Trump supporters. That's crazy. All right, Jay, go ahead. Roll the tape, my brother.
comfortable. She doesn't go by her married name because she doesn't want y'all to remember that she's married to a white man. She's never birthed any black children. So while she's acting like she's about to be the mother of America, you've never had children yourself. And then you go around, you know, parading.
Well, do you have children?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do have children. So you got a problem with women that don't have children?
I don't have a problem with women who don't have children. I have a problem with people making it seem like children are going to be are the end of everything. I don't like people discouraging women from having children.
Where does she do? I'm just curious. When does she discourage?
Well, whenever she comes to the AUC, the main topic of discussion is abortion.
Okay.
As if, and I mean, unfortunately, she fits the narrative. Unfortunately, reproductive rights in terms of abortion. They don't talk about allocating any money to fibroid research or endometriosis research or PCOS research. All things that disproportionately affect black women.
Now, hold on. Wait a minute. Let's just now. I give. Now, I will.
She's a black woman.
Let's be clear. Reproductive health. Well, let's hold on. Wait a minute. I agree with you on that because they do need to talk more about. We were talking about it in the dressing room about fibroids and IU because I do want to say that white women are the ones pushing the narrative with abortion. Let's get that clear. Let's stop acting like this is a black woman issue. No, let's get this clear.
Every election, it's black women will die unless abortion is
right. But I'm talking about the reality. The reality is when you look at the women who are advocating for abortion, because we're gonna I'm a mother too. So you talking to a fellow mama. So we're gonna talk about this. And we're gonna stop putting the stigma on black women. I'm not talking about Harris. I'm talking about me and you, mother to mother. It's really important. I want to lay this out and then we'll get to you, brother. But let's stop putting this black women talking about abortion because when you look at these abortion, let me finish. When you look at these abortion rallies, it's white women out there doing it. You know why? Because they got the ring before spring program. So it's not that, did I say it? They got the ring before spring program. In case y'all don't know what that is, these white women are the ones that flipped from Trump to Biden, went from Obama to Trump and back to Biden, and they'll be the ones deciding this election versus Roe versus Wade. Because black women, just let me hear you out, because y'all know y'all love talking about single black women, that's your favorite term. Black women have learned that I'm gonna be all right, me and my son, with or without you. So black women have been conditioned, unfortunately, because of the black family issues, been conditioned to say, I'm gonna have my baby anyway. I'm gonna be all right anyway. It's the white woman that's sitting up talking about, let me get the abortion, because they train their young girls that if you have a baby, a ready-made baby, you are now damaged. So this is what we know based on facts. So I just want to be clear. I understand the abortion issue, and I tell Democrats all the time.
But I want to be clear. I wasn't saying that.
I know, but I just want to be clear because I don't want that stigma out there just running with the trolls in the comments. I want to be clear that black women are not the ones. That's why you don't see us in the pussycat hats and all that talking about abortion.
The ones that are promoting this too.
Yeah, but no, and that's where I'm disagreeing with you because the thousands of women that are out protesting for abortion are white women.
And
that's the bottom line.
Black women that we need
right, but it's white women. No, but we ain't out there though, sis. So let's be clear.
They're telling us that.
But who gives a damn what they tell us? We want to be clear.
So how did this become to the?
Yeah, but let's not move the goalposts. The bottom line is black women are not advocating for abortion, but I agree, and I challenge. Baby, listen, black women do what white women don't tell us what to do. We tell white women to do.
Okay.
So let's be clear. I don't know what kind of black women you are, but we the type black. I want to be clear. It's important that we be clear about that.
White women hold positions of power that we don't.
Well, maybe they control you. They don't control the sisters. But listen, but I'm telling you that I agree. Are you hearing what I'm telling you, or you ain't listening?
I'm listening.
I agree.
All right, so pause real quick, Jake.
You're trying to make my point something that
I'm not trying to make.
So yeah, they about to get ratchet here. Lania, whatever name, Miss Rule, she a Trump supporter, but she acting like a Democrat. Anyway, so but let's just keep it funky, keep it real. Every time that they are talking about deletion of children, you see black women, a lot of black females jumping their happy ass up there. Oh no, because what about this and what about no? This lady, she on some bullshit. She need to stop trying to act like she don't know nothing or that ain't true and all that. All right, that may not be true for you, but it's true for that party. Kamala, I don't care about her pronouncing the name right. Kamala Harris, when she comes out there, that is what she's talking about. Like that gives you some control. Jay just did a show the other night. We was just talking about that. How about you keep your legs closed and you won't give that power to the government? That's another thing we gotta talk about. We can't sit there and say, oh, we need to push for this and this and this and that. But then when it comes to us as our own people to push for something, then we're told we're wrong. Or we're telling ourselves we're wrong. Or it's got to be about all Americans, but then we'll ride for everything that's against us. So the reality is, yeah, she's pushing for that, and a lot of black women do support that shit. That shit need to stop. Go ahead, Jay.
I just want you to listen. Democrats do a terrible job in talking about reproductive health as far as fibroids. We were literally in the dressing room talking about fibroids, and I said they really need to be talking about fibroids. They really need to be talking. I was in real time on the phone with my daughter and her doctor while I was getting my makeup done. So I am agreeing with you that they do not talk about the reproductive health. They do not talk about IVF. They do not talk about birth control helping us with our very painful menstruation. I am telling you that Democrats fail in that area. Where I am gently correcting you is that white women are talking about abortion, not the sisters. Sure.
Because I don't advocate for abortion, but have you noticed like all the men don't want Camilla, a woman, running the country, but when they do jury selection, or in the clips you showed, when they do jury selection, they do a lot of research on like different races and genders and how they identify. And they say like white women actually identify as being a woman first before being Caucasian.
What are you talking about?
And Black women identify with their race first. And don't you think like there's something about being inclusive and like women supporting women in general?
Ma'am, white women, y'all in the women's suffrage movement, when Black men had the opportunity to vote, it was y'all that said, before Black men get a chance to vote, we're gonna vote. So being inclusive with white women, since you're conservative, let me break it down to you. White feminism that y'all Republicans say y'all against, it was white feminism that divided us, that said get on the white women's side, because the white women's side pushed white male supremacy.
Well, I was born in 1983, so I
I'm
wasn't
giving
a
you
part
the
of that.
I'm giving you the information. It was white women, just a little history. It was white women that divided up, saying women first, because what women first meant in white women's world meant white men first, not Black men. And we know that according to the history.
I just judged people individually.
Oh yeah, well we're not talking about you. We're talking about systems. So unfortunately, you're not the system. And what I'm saying, the system, when you say we should identify as a woman first, that actually divides the Black family.
I didn't say we should. I was just saying like from the one white person.
Right. I know that you wanted to say that shouldn't we identify with the importance of identifying as a woman first and not color. And I'm letting you know why Black women identify with color first. Because when we identified with you as white women first, you left us in the back and our men too. I'm just answering the question. Yeah, well, your answer.
Oh, pause that. Pause that.
Answer your question.
I ain't gonna front. She cooked her. She just flame grilled her ass just then, and I'm so glad that she did that, because on some real shit, that is a straight history. Shout out to my girl Jane. That's why I always be telling that. I always tell Jane that is the reality. This white woman just set up to tell me, oh, we supposed to identify as women first. All right, well, your class of women are doing better than our class women, at least 2-3 times. Whether you want to go finances, you want to go talk about marriage, you even with marrying some of our men, you know what I'm saying, our brothers. So it's okay for you to have that privilege that you don't realize you have, and then turn around and say, oh, well, I had nothing to do with it. Are you a Democrat or a Republican? Because from my understanding, Republicans say that shit. Oh, I had nothing to do with that. And what it said, for her to say that women and then say shit like that, it sounds like your ass in between. And Red, I hear you, but in case you don't know, my brother, identity politics is politics, period. Anything you vote for, you're usually voting for what you identify with, whether it's, the Republicans going to help you with saving money. Now we're talking about your economic status. If you're talking about your religious beliefs, that's an identity. So this all identity politics at the end of the day. It's just we got to start looking at the shit as business. All right, Jay, go ahead.
Okay. Even like now, but anyway, let's move on to the next.
So are we coming back to abortion, or because I saw the call sheet? Are we coming back to it, or if we're coming back to it, we can.
But did I answer the question?
Yes.
I think so.
Relative to abortion, right? Our community has aborted 25 million children.
And how many white folks?
What white folks do don't set the standard in the Black.
I know. I just want to make sure
we need to be measuring ourselves on. We need to measure ourselves on our own performance.
No problem. I just want to know the white folks. That's all.
Fair enough. We've aborted 25 million children, and it's my opinion that the world is better with those children in it than not. Okay, abortion is in many ways a very difficult topic for a lot of people to deal with. But what we're really not talking about is the root issue, which is premarital sex. Premarital sex is the most significant issue.
You against premarital sex?
So I am actually. As of today. Yeah. As of today. So as of today, yeah. So dig, right? So no, wait, because we got a whole bunch of people in the crowd who gonna claim that they from the community, and I ain't perfect. So hold on,
We all
stop. Let me for the cameras.
Are you married?
Cameras in the view. I can lay my resume. I can lay my family.
No, just are you married?
I'm running for you.
No, just yes or no.
I'm running for you. I'm a grown heterosexual Black male. Hold on, no, stop. Who has benefited?
He won't answer.
For the cameras. So I'm gonna give you more than you asked for.
No, but I just want this one answer. No, but I don't want one to ask for. I just want to know.
I'm a Black male who benefited from the abortion program.
No, I didn't ask you that. I asked you what you did this last time.
At 18 years old, I benefited with another system from abortion. But that don't mean that I don't know that it's wrong.
Right.
See, one of the issues we have in our community.
Relax, soldier. Relax. Remember, I'm there. Hold on, tone it down. Relax. Come on, you foaming at the mouth. Relax, baby. Relax. You foaming. Relax. But I know I need to know this because they want to know the answer.
So listen.
No.
I'm a divorcee with a fiance. I'm a divorcee with a fiance and children.
Let's stop. Let's stop, because you the one threw it out there. So I just want to know yes or no before we move forward. Are you married? Yes or no?
I'm engaged.
So
I got a beautiful black female. I've been married. I've been married,
no,
right?
I just asked you a simple question. Were you married? Yes or no? So bottom line, she ain't getting none tonight. So bottom line, she ain't getting. I just want to make sure. The people want to know. Ma'am, you ain't getting none tonight because he said as of tonight. No,
you are diverting from the real issue here. The real issue is people don't want to be accountable to the fact.
We accountable, but ma'am, you ain't getting none tonight. Damn shame, because he looked a nice looking man. And he said you ain't. We got all that, but I know you ain't getting none tonight, ma'am. Make sure y'all stay tapped in. Wait, we just want to know what you married, and he said he ain't getting none. 90 seconds. We're going to get back. I ain't going to let you do.
Because the uncomfortable truth. The news media don't want you to hear the uncomfortable truth.
Raise your hand. We just want to know. We just want to know.
I've called it like it is. I've called it like it is.
Baby, we're going to talk about abortion. Relax. But I told you this last time.
We was going to go back. You wanted me to jump in, so I ran in.
You got to lay out the premise of the argument.
So I'm trying to get there.
Since you said you don't believe in no, because I needed to know that before we got to the debate. We need to know because we didn't know if you was going to get something like that. So we move it. This is one of my best friends, y'all. As of tonight, we get the
listen.
40 seconds until the debate. Watch the debate. We're streaming it live. You see, we're gonna get it popping. Hey, make sure you're right here, and we're gonna talk about abortion and how he's not getting none tonight. Y'all make sure y'all make sure y'all tap in.
Let's do it.
Invite 5, comment, and invite 5 again. We're gonna see you during the commercial break. Yes.
All right, you can power right there, Jay. All right, so I let that go because I wanted y'all to see how ratchet it's gonna be for a little bit. It's gonna be a little noise. Oh Lord have mercy. So, anyways, we still got this situation going where we can't even come together like we need to. This is where we keep messing up. She being immature. Now I ain't gonna front. Dude should have chilled out too. You know, she the host. Let her be the host. Be respectful. Answer a question. You know what I'm saying? Because both of them at the same time talking like that is just ignorant and stupid looking. So unfortunately, we're gonna see this for a little bit tonight. I ain't gonna drown y'all too much in it. You know what I'm saying? But I do want y'all to be able to see this so we can actually point out how we need to do better as a community and actually try to have some real dialogue and real conversation. I don't know if you triggered yet, Jay, but you gonna be up in a second. All right, roll the tape.
You the best.
So our post game show. As soon as it's over, we are going to toss it right now to David Muir and Lindsay Davis.
Tonight, the high-stakes showdown here in Philadelphia between Vice President Kamala Harris and former President Donald Trump. Their first face-to-face meeting in this presidential election, their first face-to-face meeting ever.
A historic race for president upended just weeks ago. President Biden withdrawing after his last debate. Donald Trump now up against a new opponent.
The candidates separated by the smallest of margins, essentially tied in the polls nationally and in the key battlegrounds, including right here in Pennsylvania, all still very much in play. The ABC News presidential debate starts right now.
This is an ABC News special. The most consequential moment of this campaign. Kamala Harris.
Together, we will chart a new way forward.
Donald Trump.
We will soon be a great nation again.
Face to face. Historic. The ABC News presidential debate. Here now, David Muir and Lindsay Davis.
Good evening, I'm David Muir, and thank you for joining us for tonight's ABC News presidential debate. We want to welcome viewers watching on ABC and around the world tonight. Vice President Kamala Harris and President
I think you might
are
have
just
skip a
moments
little
away
bit
from taking the stage in this unprecedented.
Y'all excuse that. They pull back. Good. All right, hit play.
The ABC News presidential debate will continue after this.
All right, guys. All right. All right, guys. Tesla Figure here, chief political correspondent for Revolt Black News. I'm so excited. As you can see, we have a room full of folks, Black Democrats, Black Republicans, Black independents, activists, organizers, you name it. We got them in the building. Want to do a quick, just to reset things, quick name, affiliation, so that for our listeners that just tapped in.
Okay, well, hey, y'all. I'm Michaela Montgomery, and I do work for the Trump campaign, so I guess you could say I'm a Republican.
Yes, so.
Devin Barrington Ward. I'm a Democratic Socialist and a candidate for Atlanta City Council.
And
I'm Young Jock from Young Jock in the Streets.
It's going down.
Hey.
Me being trapped. I had to say that. But guys, thank you so much for being here. As you can see, it got turned up. We even had some conversations, did we not, while we were watching? Make sure you tag 5 friends and then tag 5 again. Let's go straight to our brother was here talking about abortion. Come on in, brother, because I was trying to give you your opportunity to talk about abortion.
Let's get into it. I had to use a little boys' room.
No problem. Well, there was a conversation about abortion, and I really do. I want to be clear. I want Revolt to bring you back to have that longer conversation about the root of it, the problem. We unfortunately just don't have a lot of time to unpack it. But I do want you to state your position that we talked about before. And also, we noticed, if we want to be fair about it, neither candidate really kind of answer the question on late term abortion, when it should not be. So I do appreciate your position on the root of it, but just kind of give me your position on why is it that Trump has flipped on his position as far as abortion is concerned.
I don't know that Trump has. I think Trump's been relatively consistent in the message. The reality in the situation is that if Democrats wanted to do something about abortion, they could. He was absolutely right. When Roe v. Wade was repealed, I'm going to use the word repealed or overturned, Democrats at that time wanted it. Okay, the matter of abortion is only coming up every 4 years as a way of separating Black Americans from another political party. If they wanted to do something about it over the course of the last 3-4 years, they could have. They haven't. The entire debate tonight was Kamala Harris, Vice President Harris, making an argument about what Trump had done, and she made absolutely no argument that demonstrates what she or her platform had done.
Would you agree? Disagree?
I would not agree with that. First, she did address the question, which was she would go back to where we were prior to Roe v. versus Wade being overturned, which means that those legal protections would be in place so that people wouldn't be having late-term abortions. I think the other thing that is missing from this conversation, we're in a state like Georgia, where Black women die when they go into childbirth. That's the conversation around reproductive health that we need to be having as Black folks. Because when I go into the hospital and I see people who are having babies, it's Black and brown folks. So this really isn't about us, right? You spoke about that earlier, about how this is about white women and their desire to not have children. But the Black community, we having kids. Our population numbers are going up. Our schools are full. And so this idea that they want to make abortion about us on both sides of the aisle, because for me, I'm a progressive. So I will agree with you to some extent. The Democrats could have did things to codify Roe v. versus Wade into law. And that was a missed opportunity. But in addition to that, we should be investing money into improving the maternal health outcomes for Black women in this state and across the country.
And I would like to piggyback off that, because that was the point that I was trying to make earlier, is that when they come into these communities and the topic of women's reproductive health comes up, the only thing that they suggest to us is abortion. And that I wish that when people like Kamala Harris or anybody else comes and says that we need to protect our reproductive rights, that the conversation is about more than just abortion, because Black women deserve more than to just be told to not have
And
kids.
I was agreeing with you as well. I agree that they do come in. In fact, me and my producer just last week at the DNC convention, and I sat there saying you need to talk more than just about abortion. I just wanted to pull up to make the point, like our brother said here, we're having our babies. So who give a damn about what it's important what they're talking about, but white women don't tell us what to do. So
Pause that
I
real
just want
quick,
to be
Jay.
clear that Black women have our babies, because that's another topic.
See, and that's the problem of all this capping. The one brother was trying to get to where he's talking about it's over 20 million deletions that we've had. To sit there and say we just like, nah, we're supposed to be more than just 14% of the population with that amount of children missing. So they can try to do all that to disagree, but you still riding with the same party that pushes it. And we don't hear no pushback. We rarely, like her saying that, I respect her for saying that, but that's a rare pushback. That's a rare pushback. You know what I'm saying? Red Illusion says Black population is not going up as a percentage in the next 50 years, according to the Pew Research. Yeah, because that's what has been going on. I ain't saying there hasn't been any man pushing for these women to do that so they can scapegoat, but a lot of women have, and this is just keeping it real, that white woman's perspective. Oh, I want to go get my career and all this so they can compete with a man. But then all these women turn around feeling like shit because they can't get a man. So let's keep it real. More white women are getting married than Black women, twice as many. And I know that the numbers is going to change and stuff like that, like they said around 2030, and that's what they pushing for. So guess who's going to really hurt us? So we got to stop lying and actually have this conversation. Go ahead, Jake.
Talking point, y'all like talking about the single Black woman. So the single Black woman with the baby. So the welfare queen. So which one are the welfare queens or we're not the welfare queens? So I just want to make the point that Black
never called me that.
Yeah,
But
well they
to
do.
say
They
that
do.
White women don't.
They're pushing the
control-
issue.
White women hold high positions at these record companies, correct? You would know something about that, right? In which case, those are the people who pay these artists like Lotto, like Glorilla, who are pushing abortion to our young Black women.
Right.
Here, and I want to turn to the war in Ukraine. We're now 2.5 years into this conflict. Mr. President, it has been the position of the Biden administration that we must defend Ukraine from Russia, from Vladimir Putin, to defend their sovereignty, their democracy.
Y'all
And
been
it's in
with us,
America's
Dave,
best
on the,
interest to do
video
so, arguing
call.
that if Putin wins, with closing statements from both of our candidates, an historic night, this ABC News presidential debate from Philadelphia. Back in a moment.
All right, everybody. Last commercial break. I wish we had the behind the scenes so everybody can see what our conversation. This is a great conversation. No other network, they laughing. No other network has done it like this. We're going to get into immigration in our post show, so make sure you stick around because we are going to talk about everything. But I want to go to the sister at the mic. She's been waiting.
Everyone, I'm Kara, one of Kayla's best friends, also her old debate partner from Clark Atlanta University. But I'm on the opposite side, CAU, but I'm on the opposite side of the political spectrum than Kayla. So I have two things that I want to say. The first being a question that I want you to ponder, but not necessarily answer. Donald Trump was found criminally liable for sexual assault against E. Jean Carroll, who actually sued him for sexual assault within the last few years. Additionally, his ex-wife, Ivana Trump, actually wrote about him sexually assaulting her and raping her in her book. And Donald Trump, out of his own mouth, has said that he would grab a woman by the pussy and that they actually encourage him to do that. So why would we want Donald Trump to have control over any woman's body? That's question number one. Number two, in the last 4 years, or prior to these last 4 years when Donald Trump was in office from 2020, from 2016.
This is just a commercial break, so I need to let him at least answer. And then we'll get, quick answer. Why are you cool with him grabbing him by the pussy?
You want to go ahead?
I'm ahead of you.
Well, no, I'm going to hand you because you don't believe in premarital sex, so it's going right
Wow.
to you. Oh, they don't want to touch that part. Okay, speak on it.
Indefensible.
Okay.
The fact of the matter is that we have a criminal running for president of the United States. And none of your black asses, if you had that many charges, would be able to run for anything. You wouldn't even be able to get a job at McDonald's. So let's just stop the games. Let's stop the BS. Donald Trump is a criminal. He has been found criminally liable in several courts. He has a case that's still pending in the state of Georgia. I've run for office before. And one of the first things they tell you is you cannot call election officials and ask them for more votes than the other guy. It's really against the law. He said, I need 11,574 more votes than the other guy. Come on, because black folks have been what? Black folks have been criminalized on less evidence. So why are we even entertaining this?
Well, I do want to
really is insulting our intelligence. No, it's really insulting our intelligence.
Yeah, it really is. But I want to hear the Republican sister's comment about grabbing about P.
Well, first of all, context is important. And so when he's talking about, no, I'm just saying, because if we're being honest, if we're being real, it's a lot of black women in this room, right? And a lot of black women love rich men, right? So I hate to be the one to say it. I hate to be the one to say it. But in him saying, hey, when you're rich, you can do whatever. You can just grab him by the pussy. Isn't that what the quote was? That is exactly what the quote was. Now, I'm sorry, but Jock, if you wanted to grab anybody in here by the pussy, none of these girls would tell you no. You don't have to. No. Hold on. Oh, yeah. Now everybody mad. Hold on. So you are going to act like, as a celebrity. Hold on.
Let's get
you and I have already made it clear that you and I don't succumb.
No, but you said any black woman in it. Hold up. It's time for pause for the call. Hold on, let's let y'all answer quick. Hold on, wait a minute. Hold on, wait a minute, girl. Wait a minute. No, let's hold on. No,
let me not say anybody in there. Let me not say anybody in there before everybody
runs up and gets mad. No business. You said stand on business. Listen, now you went too bad. You gotta watch what you say. Then watch your mouth. No, she said she gonna learn stand on business. Stand on business, sis. Now she said any woman in here. So let Young Jock. Hold on, because Young Jock's wife is watching. So we want to hear what Young Jock got to say. Because you disrespected the institution of marriage. Y'all remember how y'all like marriage? This is a married man. Girl, shut up, girl. And let's go on.
So pause it real quick, Jay. So I got a question to Red that I'm gonna say something. So Red, yeah, the host is crashing out, but let's keep it real, Red. Are we gonna sit here and actually say that this is a good representation of a Republican? Forget her race, because we see a lot of Republicans crashing out like this. Is this a good representation? Because right now she looking real ignorant. It sound like the baddest of Detroit. Okay, I guess that's your answer. But dog, she said some reckless shit. Because if that was the case, we wouldn't see all these charges that these dudes are going by. You know what I'm saying? So not every woman is gonna be cool with that bullshit that she just said. And I want to hear what Young Jock is gonna say. But right now we got our brother, the saver of the day. You know what I'm saying? I told him to buy him a cape and a Hawaiian shirt for his birthday. We got JVJ in the building, man. What's your thoughts on the video so far, man? Holla at the people.
I'm one of the baddest motherfuckers of all time. One of the best singers, one of the best looking motherfuckers you've ever seen. Hold my drink, bitch.
Oh, I can't wait to use that. Go ahead.
When it comes to both of them, the young lady to the left, I guess, to me, the one who said that Trump, Young Jock could go and do that. He probably could. And most of those women in that crowd wouldn't have an issue with it. It's always somebody else in somebody else's business telling them that something bad happened to them, or you shouldn't be going for that, or all this woo stuff. What she said is true. Let Young Jock be performing at a concert. I'm pretty sure about 99.9% of them women will allow him to go up there and grab him by the pussy. I'm just being honest. Because we've seen
What about? Well, hold on. But what about the females who ain't Young Jock fans?
If they at the concert, I'm saying the ones that are at the concert.
Yeah, no. Yes, outside of the concert, do you think he can go touch any woman that would rather have Idris Elba or Denzel Washington?
If the man's not important to him, if they don't put that man on a pedestal to a certain extent, hell no. But that's the whole point. I would push back. Like, her statement is true, but it's also a problem with her making that statement because that doesn't justify what Trump said. And then compounding on what the people on the left said, there are incriminating things that would lead you a certain, like, first off, a motherfucker said, hey, look, I like to slap old people. Then you hear this motherfucker getting charged or held liable for slapping old people. And people done wrote books about this motherfucker slapping old people. I'm like, he might do that shit. So I'm like, it's all wrong across the board. Like, she's making a true statement by saying Young Jock probably could do that. He probably could. But that doesn't null and void what Trump did or said, because that's still fucked up. But it's a whole bunch of mess because you got conflicting sides. But the host in the middle, the part that really triggered me, the only reason I came up, and I'm gonna slide back. The part that got me with the host is she said that this young lady is not gonna disrespect Young Jock. His wife is watching. While she disrespected that black man over there to the side that's a Trump supporter, when she talking about, oh, he ain't getting none tonight, she disrespected him earlier. But she wanted to defend Young Jock, I'm guessing because she believes Young Jock's on her side. Because I can kind of tell where she's leaning, but yeah, I don't. This is a bad. You alluded to it earlier. This is a bad representation of the black community, and the sad part is this ain't the black community. It's just the motherfuckers that they give a mic to. Them the niggas. But that's all I had. I'm slide back.
Man, you know you're gonna be back. Anyways, yeah, I'm with you on that, Red. But see, the only problem is, if I'm not mistaken, this is the same woman who went out into the community and was actually talking to Republicans. She wasn't disrespectful, none of that. Like, she actually had real conversations with them. So to see her do this now is really fucking shocking. You know what I'm saying? Like, this shit is shocking to me, but it goes to show that some people can't get out of the way. You know what I'm saying? Whether Democrats or Republicans, I don't care what they're saying. Like, how the Democrats are supposed to be better than Republicans. Y'all doing the same shit right now. You know what I'm saying? Why we can't have a regular fucking conversation if we talking about something that's this serious? And this is why certain people get into office and get away with whatever the fuck they want to get away with, because we too stupid to argue for them like we argue for our favorite team or some dumb shit when they ain't gonna make us no money. This is the situation where we really need to have a conversation because of what's going on for us. That's real shit. And she really did not help Trump by saying, "Oh, well, y'all could do it." He looking like, hey, hold on, man. I'm married now. Chill out with that shit. But it doesn't mean he couldn't for his audience, like Jay said. But we finna keep rolling the tape, get back into these shenanigans. Go ahead, Jay.
Wait a minute.
Okay.
You can't just run. You're gonna have to learn today. Since you're gonna learn to stand on business. Wait.
Are you gonna
If you
moderate?
don't,
Are you a
I'm
panelist?
both of them. I'm gonna be all three of them. I'm gonna be all three of them. I'm gonna moderate the debate panel. Hold this shit down all the way around. No, sis,
If
you
the
gotta
moderator
learn.
wants to
No,
engage
wait
in
a minute.
debate, then we're not gonna have a
Wait,
conversation.
let John respond. You can't just bring something out. You can't just.
And Lindsay Davis.
Welcome back tonight. The time has come for closing statements, and Vice President Harris, we begin with you.
Yeah, hold on. We getting back to this ratchet shit.
So I think you've heard to Afghanistan. They
So hello, we are back.
Wow.
No other network does it like this. No other network does it like this. Good conversation. We're gonna let
Bruce and Rachel
Young
Scott,
Jock here
our reporters
speak on behalf
across
of,
the news division,
based on what the
have been
sister said,
updating our
the comments
live
about
blog,
grabbing by the
looking
feet.
at some of the allegations made back and forth, doing fact checks. You can find all of that on abcnews.com. But I would like to replay the moment at the
feels
very
like he's
start of this
eligible to do
debate,
things like that
because
and not,
it was quite a moment.
not being recourse.
The
You know what I'm saying? I
handshake.
understood what she was saying, but
And if you
I didn't want to be put into that, right?
My apologies, Josh,
But I do
first of all,
understand
we haven't
that
seen a handshake. We haven't seen a handshake.
sometimes,
And
it's
not
crazy
only
as
did
it
she
is,
initiate it,
people
she
or women
walked
will
over to
allow
him
a man of a
and
certain
sought him
stature or
out,
tax
put the hands
bracket.
out, and also
Not
Careful,
all,
Red.
that's why that's why
And I
different,
did
not
want to clarify that.
right. So, and I'm not even say 95%. I'm just saying the situations that happen. But at the end of the day, let's not act like it's not recourse that comes behind it. You know what I'm saying? You look up, you may be the guy that could do this and that, but you end up with
A charge.
a charge.
Right.
And as your man got a couple charges, you know what I'm saying? Trump, that is. So, and I'm not, look, I'm here because I wanted to be here right now in this room, in the city that I live in. I've never, you know, seen a moment where somebody said, hey, we're gonna go watch the debate, and everybody in my age bracket is excited. And I'm like, damn, this the new club. I'm like, let's go. And so to come here and witness this firsthand, you know, I do notice that y'all get a little high key, a little hostile with the energy. And I wish y'all could kind of just keep it a little, you know, just, well, it's nothing wrong, but it makes it hard to communicate.
No, we'll get through it.
Yeah, we will.
This is what family do. Let me speak to this.
True indeed.
Yeah, let me speak to this. If people can argue about who's the best rapper, if people can argue about who peed on who, if people can argue about who dated who, we can absolutely, and I want family to understand this. I want to be clear about this. We can, this is family. I literally asked Revolt, let's make sure we bring black Republicans, not just Republicans, but Trumpers all the way on the left, all the way on the right, all the way on the left. We have got to be okay with chaos. And we let me just say this, brother. We have got to be okay with having a difference of opinion. We're gonna turn it all the way up and turn it down and turn it up, just like we hug, we chill, we cool. This is good. It is good. Look how they do in Britain. They yell, holler, scream, throw chairs. It is good for us to sort this out because organized chaos and having this conversation is actually how we solve problems. We just like playing dominoes and talking loud.
I would just like to add that if we could find just a more streamlined way to actually execute this moment, then opposed to yelling, because I'm keeping it 100. I would much more rather be yelling and be passionate about these conversations that's going to live on for years and decades for our children and the people that we leave in our legacies too, opposed to me yelling if LeBron or Kobe or Jordan is the best. I do feel like this is a more fulfilling conversation. It's more healthy, but I just still I'm trying to get into it because it's so chaotic, but I love it.
Right.
I love it. I'm here.
But I do want to speak
Pause
to the
real quick,
solution
Jay.
because what Young Jock's saying is
See, this is where it's so bad. This chick, I ain't gonna say sister, this chick, because she acting like a street rat right now, alley cat. Dog, Jock said some real shit, and he's a fucking rapper. This woman says she done stuff for Fox, CNN, some of everybody. So you gonna sit there and tell me it's okay? It is not okay. You trying to get the ratings and all that, but we can't hear, and it's gonna look even worse, especially with an all-black panel, if y'all go to throwing blows. And I'm not saying just her, everybody else as well, because they need to chill out, let people talk. Because I'm gonna keep it real with you. A lot of Republicans these days are doing that shit. And I remember Republicans didn't do this stupid shit. So it's really annoying as fuck because everybody's just losing their decorum. So Jock Wright should be able to talk, have this conversation, let the people talk. And she the host, may not like her. And like Red said, she is biased, and I agree. But she's still the host. You know what I'm saying? Let her do her job and just don't come back there no more. But also Jock said one other thing. Trump got his issues. He said you can do what you want. He did what he wanted, and he got what he did not want. So all I'm saying is you can't necessarily just do what you want to do because you got money and status and all that. And the reason being, even if these women let you do it in the beginning, what did they do? They came back to get you. Same way they might have set Bill Cosby up. I'm just keeping it real. Real quick, Red says be okay with chaos. If it was just men, the conversation would be much more productive. Yeah, I'm sorry, but it's seeming that way. It's seeming that way right now. But go ahead, Jay.
we got to get to the solution. And I just want to put this out. I train thousands of people every year. Thousands of people every year to be organizers, to be candidates, to be operatives. This brother running for office. You have to be on the ground in order to do it. This brother's in the community. Are you not? You talk about in the community all the time. This is in the community. Everybody in this room is an activist, an organizer at some level in the community. So we are working towards a solution just because of the time and because we're responding to, you know, in real time what they're saying. We have to deal it in pockets, just like a track. We just doing just a track and feature every now and then. But make no mistake about it, that Revolt, and hopefully we continue to have these conversations, which is why we're here. We can continue to flesh out these solutions. So it's not that we're not getting towards a solution. We're just having a good old-fashioned rap battle. That's all. and ain't nothing wrong with it. And hip hop, literally hip hop. Somebody asked in the comments, why is Young Jock here? And I just checked somebody in the comments and said, you got every right to be here. First of all, Revolt is a hip hop network. Let's get that straight. So if anything, we in your house.
Well,
So because I want to let you know how I defended you. Why is Young Jock? Well, first of all, you a human like anybody else. So let's first get that straight. Nobody get to decide who should be here and who should not be here. Rappers, literally, you've been telling the story from the beginning of time. It's like a jungle sometime. Made me wonder how I keep from going under. Rap literally tells our story.
Can I tell them something?
Yes, you can.
I'm socially activated at this point in my life. Just 2 weekends ago, I teamed up with my brother, Tory 100, Mr. Ray Daniels, P from QC, Luda, Jermaine Dupri, and we just gave out 1,000 laptops to our inner city youth on the south side, for Southside Dead Delay. So, and I'm not doing that for clout. I'm just saying this is my footing in the game. It's a receipt. It's a footprint. You know, and I appreciate when people ask those types of questions because it creates a friction. It creates a conflict, and that's the only way we're gonna do something. You know, they say iron sharpen iron. You got to ask those tough questions, even if it ain't a tough question. Why he there? Because I'm activated. I have a nationally syndicated morning show. I don't want to just regurgitate what I heard. It's just like I said at the DNC with my nice little suit on, speaking to Revolt. Hey, I want to be in the room. I want to smell what's happening in the room, and I want the room to smell me.
That's right.
And the only way for that to happen is I have to actively be present. Here I am.
That's right. We appreciate you being here.
Straight up.
And also, it's just even if you wasn't activated. See, my job being the hood was to go get people who's not activated. So nobody, since we got Christian folk, if you're not a Christian, then don't worry about it. But it's about walking among people that are not activated. So when I was in the streets yesterday in Atlanta, I'm talking to brothers literally homeless who are under the bridge. We got to get them in the fold. Anybody can talk to their own choir, but who can go bring people to go follow them up the hill? So we want to be clear that this space is for those who are activated and non-activated, because that's Trump's beyond. Here's where I'll give Trump campaign some credit. They follow the what do they call it, the lost man or the unspoken man? What do they call it on your side? The forgotten man, where they literally go and say, let me strategically peel off 1-2%. Let me go and get Icewear Vizzo in Detroit to peel off 1 or 2%. You have people online saying, oh, why they got Icewear? He got clout in Detroit. So while you ignoring that rapper in Detroit and saying, oh, he don't know what he's talking about, that 1 and 2%, the Trump campaign has been very strategic, whether y'all like it or not. They've been very strategic talking to those brothers that are not getting talked to. So we want to be clear that the non-activated people are important, and we want them here too, and we're glad to have you.
3.6 million people listen to me every morning. From 6 to 10 on my platform. So I'm happy to be here, man.
We appreciate it, brother.
First off, I want to say, Jock, I want to give you the props for those laptops. I know it's gonna make a difference for those kids that you did that to. So people who are online, please just watch who you give, who you're trying to knock, and who you give respect to, because those are resources that you didn't have to do, but you did it because you've always been a real one. And so we, as a community, we appreciate you, and you should be, if anything, one of the first people to speak, because when people aren't looking, you're still working for us. And I do want to say this, and this is, I mean, Tez, I know you said one thing, you said, hey, you know, you sit next to a big dog, but out of that whole stage right there, if Trump wins, only one of y'all going to the White House, and that's Michaela right there. So we got to be honest on what we got to know. We have to know. No, what I'm saying is, hold on, out of the whole crowd, only one person, hold on, let me just, and this is why the black people, and when it comes down to a divide,
focus on
when it comes down to a divide in our community, this is why, because we're talking about everybody being so politically correct instead of in 4 years, what are we going to get? You mentioned chaos. Black people have been in chaos way before this debate ever started. We're in chaos in the homeless shelters. We're in chaos when it comes to the Department of Labor. We're in chaos with the fact that Jock has to bring out laptops for the kids because there's not enough resources in our community. And so when we have a sister with a different opinion than ours, it's about giving that respect. And the fact that—
hold on, wait a minute. I gotta wait. No, you're not. No, I'm gonna stop you because you're going on and on. This sister here is the one that invited this sister. So if I did not respect this sister, she wouldn't be sitting here. You're gonna put some respect on that. We're not gonna sit up here. No, you can get frustrated and look down at all of that. Relax. But we gotta make sure we're very clear. This platform was designed to bring this sister here. So if there was no respect for this sister, she wouldn't be here. So let's make sure we're using the right context, brother. I don't mind you making the point about one sister going. This is the only sister on the stage that want to go. So let's also make that clear, because I don't work in no White House. So I want to be clear about that. Everybody ain't trying to get a job in the White House. You can continue, but let's not act like she's not respected, because she is. We just have a difference of opinion.
When people are yelling about who's a big dog,
I am a big dog.
And what I'm saying is,
I'm a big dog.
Out of this whole stage, only one person was standing on the stage with the presidential
and only
candidate.
one person on this stage flipped Michigan, and only one person on this stage organized over 2,000 people every year. Only one person was a racial justice director, Bernie Sanders. Only one, because remember, you don't want to do resumes, because the sister already said she don't have no resume. So you might want to back that. Yeah, you did. You said you don't have like resume. Ain't but one sister the senior public policy advisor for Ben Crump. Let's go on to the next. Ain't but one sister signed the front of the check for 1,000 people. Oh, baby, I know you don't want to start doing the only sister. I know you don't want to start doing the only sister receipts, because ain't but one sister served in the United States Air Force. Let's go on to the next person, because I don't like the slight. I don't like the passive aggressive diss, because I run these receipts down. So let's go on, because ain't but one sister served this country on this here panel.
4 years from now, black people have to decide what they're going to get at the end of the year.
This is another reason why she probably ain't got no damn man or woman, whatever she dates, because we also, this is a problem we have with our females that's so fucking annoying. Are you telling me that we will listen as black men for years that our women do better jobs than us on organizing, being leaders, being people that can bring people together, being people that can be, giving information, all that. She's making other, like, these are the females that make other sisters look bad, is because the ones that will do a good thing, they gonna be also just doing their thing and being good. But then you got these females that they always want to give a microphone to. She out there wearing a super thought fit, with one with the hands come out, whatever. But at the same time, you cut the man off. Let him finish what he got to say. I understand you got to say, we running short for time. Can you please finish your statement so we can answer or move on to the next subject? Cool. But I don't want to hear what you got to say because you I don't like what you. Come on, man. Your resume don't mean shit right now. You don't look no different than the project chick, the hood rat chick, the side chick. You don't look no better than her because all you doing right now is acting the same way. So if you got intelligence, education, and she said she was in the Navy, I guarantee you weren't doing that with your sergeant because they would have kicked your punk ass out of it. Go ahead, Jay. You can hit play, Jay. You heard me? Okay, I guess
Here at the
Jaden.
end of the,
To a whole veteran.
and we're
And I'm
dealing
a
with the
big dog
and we're dealing
in the
with
game.
the
I'm a
disrespect
big
right
dog in the
here.
game.
4
Go
years.
on to the next sister.
What are black
Go on to
people
the next
going to
sister,
get at
because
the
you heard her say she don't have the resume that I got. So
From-
go on to the next sister. I'm not gonna handle your passive aggressive distance, baby. I'll run these receipts down on you. I'll run these receipts down on you. You talking to a whole veteran. So baby, ain't nobody impressed about working in no White House. I done turned it down. Ain't but one sister on here that on Fox News. Ain't but one that do 100 hits on Fox News. They don't call this sister, they call me. How many you do a year? How many do you do a year?
I've literally done 30 in
Baby, I do 100 every year.
And I said what I
do 100 per year. I do 100 per year.
And I just came on the scene.
I'm a big dog.
By the end
So
of the
I
year,
love my
maybe I'll be
sister.
there.
I love my sister, but you're not gonna
But you
divide.
can't deny
Move on to
the real thing is going to be
No,
we
no.
need to really talk about black people in
Let's move on.
4 years. What are we
Brother.
going to get in 4 years?
get-
Let's not talk about the criminal. Let's not talk about
Can
the
we get the
charges.
next person up?
4
Are we
years.
still live?
What are
we
we going to? What is Harris promising
Sir,
black people
I'm
in
done
4
talking to
years?
you.
That was a valid
Let's
question. That was a
Let's
valid
get the next
question.
person up.
I understand what
Yeah,
you
don't ever do that with me though. Don't ever do that with me. You'll get your friend embarrassed. Play with your little friends.
I would never be embarrassed.
Yeah, I just want to speak to the people in the Christian community. As a Christian, I'm actually very disappointed in some of their point of views, including the abortion rights. Tell people, I've heard a couple of conversations, people saying that a man can't tell me what I need to do with my body. But as a Christian, I just feel like, how can you agree with something or someone who says, when the Lord had already said, do not murder? So how can you agree with somebody who said, yeah, let's go ahead and abort, even when they have came out the womb? You know what I'm saying? And then the lady back there who said, Kara, was that your name? Who said, how can we agree with someone who said grab people by the vagina? Well, as a Christian, I'm agreeing with Trump, and I don't identify with necessarily either party, but this year I am Team Trump because of his policies. Most of the ones, when I go by line, they agree with Jesus' principles that's laid out in the Bible. You know what I'm saying? So I can't be mad at someone whose half of his principles is aligned with the Bible. I can't disagree with someone who is against the LGBTQIA, plus agendas with men, including men, playing in women's sports. I can't agree with someone who's going to, do the abortion ban. I can't not do the abortion ban. I cannot agree with someone who's going to go ahead and take away our gun reform when in the Bible, Jesus is actually for us protecting ourselves. Somewhere in Luke, he definitely said, here's 2 swords.
Okay,
that is enough.
so let's let the, because she was talking to her in the pink, so she wanted to comment. Come on, sister, we're running out of time.
Okay, the first thing God called us to do is love.
Correct.
And I think a lot of our speech, yes, 100% has been inflammatory, but he's called us to love and not judge.
Correct.
Second thing God gave us is free will. It's not up to us to decide the cost of somebody's sins and how we're going to act out this person's punishment. So when you sit there and say that Trump's policies align with Jesus Christ, do you hear his speech? Do you hear his speech though?
He can work on his heart.
But God says in the Bible, judge a man by his fruits. His fruits. Hold on. Please don't talk over me. His fruits are inflammatory. His fruits are rotten. So please don't disrespect my Jesus Christ like that. Okay, my family was and let me also go back just a little bit more. My family was very instrumental. And let me also say, my family was very instrumental. Is this mic on? Can people hear me?
I feel like it
Okay.
Go ahead. We can't hear you.
Yeah.
And I'm also saying this as a person whose family was instrumental in founding the AME Church. I don't know where your relationship with God went wrong. And I'll retract that because I can't judge where you're, but I think you need to go back to the Bible a little bit more and have some one-on-one time with him to really think about whether the person that you're calling to represent this country actually represents Jesus Christ or whether he's actually thwarting Jesus' word.
You said that I'm disrespecting Jesus Christ. But what is disrespectful when he is the one who creates life? I think anybody who's a Christian can say he is the end all be all. He is the Alpha and Omega. He is the only one responsible for life. So what is disrespectful to the Lord Jesus Christ is him giving you a baby and giving you life and you dropping it at his feet saying, I don't want it because you don't want to control who you having sex with. If you do not want to have a baby with somebody that you don't want a baby with, you don't need to be having sex with that person. Maybe you need to close your legs. Maybe that's what you need to do because you just don't want to be responsible with your body count. You want to use the I don't want a man telling me what to do with my body as an output and as an excuse. But that is not. When you telling me I'm disrespectful and I need to revisit, maybe you need to revisit.
Okay, so if we can relax. We wanted to balance. We want nobody. We got
irrelevant conversation.
How is it irrelevant? We're talking about policies.
Sis, hold on.
Irrelevant, young lady. It's irrelevant because there's this such thing called separation between church and state. Your religious beliefs, if you will just let me finish, your religious beliefs do not supersede my right as an American to not subscribe to that if I so choose. The government does not allow. The government is not inside my bedroom. The government shouldn't be inside your bedroom. What you do between you and God, you'll sort it out when you go seek salvation later. But for the government to try and sort that out through law makes no sense because this is not, everyone in this country is not Christian.
Well, one thing about it, no, when I first came up here, I said, as a Christian, I'm disappointed in the Christian point of view.
Please don't disrespect me or yourself. Okay? Please do not.
The way you just did by saying that you're for killing the baby when you said don't murder, that disrespect, is that the same disrespect we're talking about?
Now, wait a minute. Deaconess Figaro said, let's let everybody have
Figaro, go ahead.
Let's let everybody have Deaconess. Let him finish his point, and then we got to let somebody else come up.
Go ahead, because I do want to hear what you were saying. Go ahead.
Yes. What I am saying is that all of that is wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
You should sort that out with your church.
Mm-hmm.
You should not be sorting that out with government officials. Because guess what? There are people who also interpret the Bible to say that it justified your enslavement, that justifies you being mistreated as a Black person based on their biblical interpretation. Do you want that codified into law? No. So if you don't want that codified into law on the other side, you should probably just take your religious beliefs and have them inside of your house of faith.
I can't.
So we're done. Hold on. We're moving on.
I just want to make
No. I can't because they're literally having me. We got to move on. We got to move on.
And you got to respect me. I don't know who you think you're talking to, but I can get up in here real quick because I was respecting her first. If she has authority, there's no need for you to jump in when somebody else is speaking. You have been on 10 since we've been in here. You need to take your emotions out of it because I am listening to everybody else's opinion. It's you.
It's good to be alone for a minute in the confession room. Niggas is wildin'.
Who need to take your authority out?
Yeah, you go ahead and pause it, Jay.
Debate after debate show.
So see, this is the sad shit that we talking about. The whole start of this shit, and like Jackson said, like this is that ratchet abomination type shit, man, for real. Because you ain't nobody having a sensible conversation. Everybody yelling at each other. They acting like they about to fight, but they hollering they Christians over there in the cut. What are we really even talking about? Like she said some real shit. The other one said some real shit into her, diatribe spill she was doing and all that. But it was some bullshit. It was straight bullshit. And this is this is nothing but an example of what we do not need to do as a people any fucking more, or allowing this shit to keep going down like this and then acting like this is something that is good. This is some bull shit, but is an example of what does not need to fucking happen. Jay, go ahead. What's your thoughts, man? You didn't bounce back up here like you got triggered or something.
Yeah, I am triggered. Yep, highly triggered. The host is creating all this type of energy. So I do agree with Ms. Jackson. She's the nexus of all of this. But to what the young lady and the soft dude in the suit were saying, I agree with both of them. That's the crazy part about it. Like my personal beliefs, I'm on her side. But as an American as a whole, it kind of goes against the thing, like Red was kind of pointing it out last night about the mob rule. Majority rules. You can call it mob, It's majority rules. Majority makes the shit. That's the whole point of having an election for anything. Whoever gets the most votes wins. Mob or majority. I agree with his side too. Like, look, you can have your religious beliefs. I agree with her that I'm not for it, but once again, this country ain't no moral fucking country, because the same thing that he said, they used the word of God to enslave people that look like us. So I'm with both of them, and it's crazy to say I'm with both of them. But I think majority of us, whether we're Democrat, Republican, Independent, we probably agree on majority of the same things. It's just the fringe things that we disagree on. I believe that these women should not be deleting these babies. I don't believe that the government should be able to use the Bible to do anything they want to do, because it should be a separation. But we kind of live in the world that we live in. But it's triggering me that you have this one person who is the host sitting right here on camera that is supposed to regulate. And this is the biggest antagonist motherfucker on the stage. She's causing all these people. And that's the craziest thing, because they, like, especially if she wants to act like she was a little bit religious, they speak about this in the Bible. She already said earlier that she was okay with chaos. Oh, we need chaos. Oh, yeah, chaos is good. Bitch, you got your guest in here about to fight right now because you sparking shit off. And then you telling another grown-ass man, I dropped them receipts or whatever she said on him. Like, lady, do you not understand the only thing stopping men from whooping women's asses when they run off at the mouth like that is the fear of other men holding them accountable. If it was just you and him, I bet money he would have knocked your goofy ass out for talking to him like that, just because he called you out with trying to discredit another woman because he agreed more with her point than yours. He's like, man, look, you ain't got to disrespect her like that. And he hit you on what came out of your mouth. He didn't lie on you. I'm just triggered all the way around. This right here gives black people a bad name because it's a lot of niggas in the room. There's a lot of niggas in the room.
Yeah, I'm glad you spoke to that, because that's really what it is. Like, all this ignorant, ratchet shit that's going on. That's exactly what the fuck it is. You know what I'm saying? And she put this demon spirit out there. Like, for a lot of people, we kind of misconstrue the names in the Bible and those people. So this is a Jezebel. Stupid. This is a Jezebel. She's a Jezebel. And that's what a Jezebel is. You know what I'm saying? The one that helps to cause chaos. The harlot is the one that's the 304 spirit. So she's a Jezebel. She's causing all of this chaos and all of this bullshit. And you got your audience out here acting a fucking fool. That's what's messed up about this whole thing. You know what I mean? And Revolt allowed it. Apparently, they must got some producers or writers that used to be over there loving hip hop and say, "Oh, this is gonna get us some numbers if we do it this way." Yeah, it might, but it's also gonna get you the wrong type of attention that you say you don't want. She calling herself a big dog. She's a bad representation, and all that's gonna do is make the Navy, Army, and politicians keep looking at other black women who may not be like this as a reason to keep their ass out of politics and serious positions and things of that nature, because they're doing ignorant shit. It's crazy, but this is the stupid shit they're doing. All right, Jay, go ahead and hit the play, man.
Let's move on to the next topic. I do want to touch on immigration. Y'all, it's all right, y'all. It's okay. Like, it's okay. It's all right. I'm with you. Like, y'all get so paranoid. So no,
It's all right. Sometimes furniture gets moved.
And sometimes furniture need to get moved.
In fairness, but the Bible does say you are
Go
supposed to
ahead,
love
gas
God out
money.
loud. So we cannot chastise her for feeling like her vote should be reflected on her faith.
Moving on. Yeah, we're just moving on.
And I understood you, and I wanted to make sure everybody else.
Y'all like separation of church and state, though.
Well, 501c3.
We just want to move on. We just want to move on to the next. We just want to move on to the next.
Tone, girl.
Excuse
Yes,
me,
I
Deaconess
voice
is
on.
talking.
So put your ass outside.
Authority
government. So unless they want to get rid of their tax exemption,
so they don't like law and order. Do y'all like law and order or not?
I'm just saying.
But sis, brother, we want to move on to the next. Again, y'all to make sure y'all tell Revolt. I just want to be clear. We want to be able to have longer conversations, be able to have these conversations, but unfortunately we cannot just spend all night on one thing. We want to get to immigration. I want to get your comment, but we want to play a quick clip on immigration because we got to switch conversations. Take a listen.
as I started off the segment, I said white supremacist culture will weaponize them. I always put the blame on white supremacist culture because they use immigration as a form to undermine us.
Well, for a country that claims to be a nation of immigrants, you would think it'd be an easier process for Congress to make it where people can go from being undocumented citizens to being documented ones, right?
It is a slap in the face that we as citizens of the United States of America do not have the resources and support, but you're going to bring people who are not citizens here in our community, in our buildings that we pay taxes for, that you took away from us.
Yeah. Most of the immigrants I know that came here have come from absolutely nothing and have never accepted handouts. So while you're sitting here talking all of this nonsense about how these migrants literally are taking everything from you, understand that's not going to make your life better.
Thoughts on immigration?
So I was born here. Before anybody asked me for my birth certificate, I was born here, but my mother and my father are from the Caribbean. So they are immigrants in this country. They didn't take, first of all, they're Black immigrants. So the idea that Donald Trump is questioning VP Harris's race, Jamaicans are some of the Blackest people I know. So let's start with that. Also, I think it's important that when we're talking about immigration, there's several things that's wrong with immigration in this country. One, the Republican Party, because they have no ideas, they like to pit people against one another. And so they use people coming here from other countries that they have intentionally destabilized, right? Why are these people coming to America? And it's Democrats too. Under Democratic administrations, U.S. foreign policy causes people from Central and South America to come here because we have destabilized their countries intentionally. Go all the way back to Ronald Reagan, okay? This is nothing new. So the idea that we are saying, oh, they're bringing all these people here. Well, if America minded its own business and wouldn't go stirring up shit in other people's countries, those people would probably stay where they were at.
Immigration.
Yeah. So as it relates to immigration, I think it's a really funny subject, right? The very folks that say year over year that they can't give resources, right, or reparations and everything else to Black Americans in all the blue cities across America, they found a way to give immigrants, illegal immigrants, hundreds of millions of dollars in cities like Chicago. Most recently in states like California, the state Senate passed a bill to grant 0% interest loans, zero down, plus $150,000, I believe it's a tax credit. The reality in the situation is that there is a group of folks that under the Biden-Harris administration have been brought into this country to offset the vote. And that is a legitimate issue for Black Americans today, and we need to deal with it. And oh, by the way, in the process of that, we've got undocumented terrorists that have come into this country that have put our nation at risk. And I have a legitimate issue with that.
Biggest people on the terrorist watch list are white supremacists. Every terrorist agent.
See, he brought up some good points. Also, I want to bring this up. When it came to us not necessarily worrying about it as Black Americans, that we can get reparations because of what they do for immigrants, until Biden and Harris did the shit that they're doing now, we wasn't really thinking about it. I'm sure Jay can honestly, agree to that too. But the things that they're doing now, or whether local and state, and what they're doing together, it's a slap in the face when we're talking about, reparations can't be handed out for all the Republicans. We're starting to see them now say, well, damn, y'all could actually give Black people some fucking reparations. That's the Ann Coulter and all these other people. It's blowing my mind that even they're saying now, like, well, damn, you mean to tell me we've been saying that Black people can't get reparations, but the shit that y'all doing now, showing that we could have given them that? Now, I'm gonna keep it real with you. Trump ain't saying nothing about, yeah, I'm gonna give y'all reparations. Like, I ain't gonna front. I'm gonna keep it gangster with you. I don't know if Jay agree with me or not. If Trump would have been like, you know what? This is some bullshit. I'm right here saying, oh, not talking about reparations, but y'all doing this shit. Oh, Black folks, I got you. Put me in office, you getting reparations. It ain't going to them. He'll probably get my vote. I ain't gonna lie to you. That would be the easiest way right now. But Trump ain't the one saying it's the impundits, or whatever the fuck you call them. They're the ones that's saying this. And Trump could win, but he ain't saying it. Maybe his people ain't telling him to say it now, but hey, that's his loss. But we see that that's possible. And the one thing is, after the video they showed, the one chick, oh, we country immigrants and all that. The one brother just said who's a Republican. Illegal immigrants. We got to throw that in there. We ain't talking about people that can come over here and do what they're supposed to do, following all the laws and the procedures to do what they're supposed to do to get, their green card and all that. We're talking about the illegals that they're bringing in that they're going to give all this money to. Then I have a problem with the little host 304 saying, yeah, we need to go and get these people that's homeless to the polls. But you mean to tell me the party that you support giving all this money to illegal immigrants? So you gonna go get your vote, and then you gonna throw their ass back out in the trash? But Democrats is who the plantation we need to go with. Man, get the fuck out of it. Both of them are plantations. Real shit. We ain't getting shit that we really supposed to get. Jay, go ahead. What you got to say?
Nah, I 100% agree with you. Both of them plantations. They be like, oh, I'm a free thinker. I got off the plantation. What, you went to the next plantation to be a free thinker and listen to what somebody else told you? What he said about what's happening in California, I actually had to look into that. You know how we always say context matters? Well, context does matter to what they actually are doing out there in California. And first off, I don't give a fuck. Know why? Because I don't live in California. It's not my problem. It's not my tax dollars. But first off, they're only giving they already had a program in California where if you qualify for this type of loan, this program for people that's like you ain't got no money, you broke, nigga, you broke. You ain't got enough money. You come from a poor community. You're poor. If you're poor, you can apply for this program. They'll give you up to 20% or $150,000 as a down payment on a house. Now, if you think about how much the homes cost in California, how many people you think gonna get a house with $150,000? They're not. They're not. They're not. But either way, though, it's only for the people that were brought over here as children, not illegals coming across the border right now. DACA, yeah, I don't know if anybody forgot about DACA. That was a big thing when Obama was in office. All these kids that got brought over here when they was babies and their parents were just trying to get across over here or whatever, that's for them. They allowed them to be able to participate in that same fucking program. And these people got to have Social Security cards. These people are already paying taxes out there. They're trying to make it seem like motherfucker Julio that just came across the Rio Grande is able to come into California and the very next day fucking be able to participate in that program. That's not the fucking case. Messaging matters. And he ain't looked into it. He just heard these motherfuckers say it. So they need to stop that bullshit ass lie. But look, man, it's a lot of BS going on around this whole thing. And for anybody that think I'm bullshitting, go Google it. Just go Google it, and you'll find out. That's a program that Americans over there in California can participate in already. It's for them. All they did was add the people that were already brought over here, not the people coming across the border. You can go look it up. It's written down. If you think I'm fucking lying to you, because I had to have an argument. I had to have a debate with somebody who just heard some shit on Fox fucking News. It's like, but to the reparations part, to the whole point about we got this money or we don't got this money, we do got to put shit in perspective. And I still think it's fucked up all the way around. Just gonna make that straight up across the board. They've been telling us, Republicans and Democrats, and some of the biggest ones to push against black people getting shit is conservatives. So I ain't gonna hold nobody, but let's be real. Conservatives are the biggest ones about not giving black people shit. They're the people of the handout shit. All of them been telling us they didn't have no money. But this issue about this money going to these immigrants in these different states, that's a state issue. That's not federal. That's the states doing that shit. And the main reason, I'll be honest with you, the main reason them motherfuckers even doing it, I know a lot of people say they're trying to get their votes. They're doing it because people like fucking Greg Abbott down there in Texas just started fucking trafficking people across the border, like state lines, and just dropping people off in other people's states because, you know, he didn't want to deal with them no more. Because he wanted to blame the Democrats instead of blaming everybody for not fixing this immigration problem. So he had a lot of people influxing into Texas and all these other fucking states around the goddamn border. So it's like these people ended up doing something. I'm not saying what they did was right. I'm not. I put them motherfuckers on a plane or a bus and got them the fuck back out the country. But that ain't what they did. They wanted to put money into these motherfuckers and give them resources that black people had been arguing for. So it's fucked up all the way around. But we need, like, for real, man, we need the context of what's actually going on. We can't sit here and be like, oh, the Democrats are just giving shit. No, the Democrats said, if y'all are illegal and y'all in our states, we will not fucking report you to goddamn ICE so they can come pick your ass up. We're not going to report you. They didn't say shit about, we want y'all to be here. We going to support you. We going to give you rights. That ain't nothing what the fuck they said. Just like when Republicans say they wanted open borders, the Democrats want open borders. They never said that. You cannot find one video of one Democrat ever saying that. But they're playing on both sides. They're playing on our fucking emotions. Both of them are fucking up because all these issues that they speak about are issues when they both control the House and the Senate. Democrats and Republicans had the presidency and all it. They could have fixed these problems. They didn't fix it. They think we're so dumb that we're going to sit here and constantly keep arguing about the problems when they've had the opportunity to do what they needed to do. They don't want to do it. They don't care about doing it. They just care about saying some shit to us because we dumb, and then we sit down here and just do this. You got all these niggas on the panel right now about to fight each other over some shit that it ain't they fucking problem. Them bitches need to be worrying about paying their goddamn light bill. But instead they in here fighting about what a motherfucker in another state getting. That ain't our issue. But I'm shut up again. I got triggered. I'm sorry. I'm slide back. And let me know when you want me to drop that link though.
Yeah, I was about to, you can go ahead and drop the link. Anybody want to come up? We had this conversation. Jay about to drop the link. Actually, but see, my brother, I gotta correct you because in case you got a video that we showed. That one time I did do the show. You forget that Kamala Harris did talk about us being a better nation for us what they do with the separation of those families with the illegal immigrants as well as them coming over here trying to have a new life. It's influence. It has been influenced by the Biden Harris administration. So when you say that they're moving those people to other states, you got to remember that has been Biden and Harris influence because it also showed that video. It showed what the government was giving. It showed what the states was giving. All these states was adhering to the influence of the president and the vice president. So they do have something to do with that because you got to remember, if that was the case, they would have been doing that. Because out of all these years, this is shit that's not new. It's been going on, but this is the first time we've seen an influx like this, and federal or state and local have been giving out money like this. So it is an influence, and I guarantee you, by next election, we are going to see a certain amount of people we're up to it right to the next election. I'm telling you, God, whether I see what's going to happen, we're going to have a lot of people that became legal that were illegal immigrants. Watch what I tell you. But anybody that want to come up, go ahead, come up. We're gonna go ahead, try to. I might need me another drink. We're gonna try to go ahead and stomach some more of this ratchetness with all these people that got all this, whether they left or right. All these people that got degrees and got all of this experience, these careers, served in the service. We're gonna watch them. We're gonna watch them act like stupid ass little nigglets. Go ahead, Jay.
Agency in the United States says that the biggest threat to America is white supremacists, actually.
Okay, well, to piggyback off that, just discussing the resources. As a former foster child, had I aged out, I would have only left the orphanage with a garbage bag full of clothes, and they would have given me a $700 check a month and told me good luck. So I think that it's disgusting, a spit in the face to kids like me who didn't ask to be born into the situations that we were born into, that we would never be able to qualify for the resources that are literally being given to somebody else. Additionally, let's talk about the reasoning why they're coming over here, because we keep talking about the type of people that are coming over here. Let's look about the reasoning why they're even letting them come over here. Black people are no longer fearing that the Republicans are going to take away our right to vote. These voter suppression arguments are no longer working. Yet if you can threaten an entire demographic of people, it's at 10 million now. We can only imagine what it would be in the next 4 years if this woman wins this office. In which case, now if you tell that large of a demographic of people that they will lose all of their benefits and their citizenship if they were to vote for a Republican, you can guarantee that you now have a new loyal voting base. So in the same way that black people have been prioritized last, every time we're prioritized first during campaign season, prioritized last during an administration. We're going to go see us be kicked out of the room. We won't even be on the list once these migrants have come over here. There's already 10 million. There's only 49 million of us here. There's only 49 million of us here. Yep. And then if you think about the voter apathy that exists within the black community, there's not 49 million of us voting. But you can guarantee every single one of those illegals who can get out there and vote is gonna go vote.
Well, when we have more time,
if they're not U.S. citizens,
they're literally voting in our elections.
To make them citizens.
Not even just make them citizens. They're getting IDs as soon as they get over here.
Are they illegal or are they not?
They're illegals, and they're voting in our elections.
They can't be one or the other. They got to be. Are they illegal or not? So right now, but no, we're talking about this election right now.
The should is what's driving the vote. The should is what's driving the vote.
Michaela, I would like to ask you a question.
Okay, hold on, guys.
Foster care in which state?
California. The same California that is giving $150,000
can I ask you
to
this?
illegal migrants. But if my
0%,
sister,
zero
who
down.
just aged out of foster care
But they
2
wouldn't
years
give
ago,
you
she was
Hold on,
getting that down.
wait a minute. I agree with giving black Americans the money for, but I do want to ask you this because again, this is where this Republican talking point always gets me confused. You were aged out at what age?
No, I didn't age out. I was adopted. I'm talking about the people who don't.
Okay,
who
but
do
when you
age
said
out.
wasn't born, didn't ask to be born in the situation they
Yeah,
were
like my mom was on crack and my dad was in and out of prison.
Right.
That's not
So-
a situation I should have to pay for yet for whatever
That's right,
reason.
but
The government didn't feel bad enough for me to give me or my family those resources.
Ma'am. I just want to know when I hear the Republican talking point. I just want to know when they say pull yourself up by the bootstraps.
I did
when
that.
they say I didn't. Let me finish. I'm talking about to people that didn't, who were born, because we talked about this before, people that were born with incarcerated parents, people that were born in destitute situations. Because your brother would always say, you have an opportunity to get, I'm not talking about you. I'm just saying, what do you say to the Republican that says that despite the situation you were born in, because none of that is systematic, none of it matters, I'm giving the opposing side, none of it matters, pull yourself up by the bootstrap, you're not a victim, don't be a victim, don't cry. What is your answer to a lot of conservatives that say, regardless of the situation you were born in, that you didn't ask to be born in, I'm not talking about immigration, I'm talking about Black Americans.
Yeah.
What is your answer to that? Because Republicans say all the time, to stop being a victim and to pull yourself up by the
genuinely
bootstrap.
believe that once you stop believing that everything is set up against you and that you can't win,
But
you
just a
will
minute
win.
ago, you said it was set up against you because they didn't ask to be born in the situation.
They were asked to be born into the situation, yet for whatever reason, they're not offered the same resources that
But I'm not
somebody else
talking
who
about resources.
also.
The conservatives
Okay,
say pull yourself up by the bootstrap. They say don't worry about resources.
Okay,
Conservatives say don't worry about resources. They say don't worry about it, regardless if the parent was born on crack.
Being empowered, ma'am. Again, we're talking about context.
I'm talking about context. Conservatives say all the time.
Pull yourself up by the
including
bootstraps,
this
correct?
brother.
Correct.
Pull yourself.
Okay.
So I'm
and
saying
I'm saying
regardless
if the
of whose
Democrats
daddy
are
was
willing
on
to help
crack,
these people pull themselves up by the
I didn't ask
bootstraps,
you that.
they should be willing to help others.
That's
pull
right,
themselves
but
up
I
by the
didn't ask you
bootstraps.
that.
Now this isn't a Republican talking point, because Republicans wouldn't give it to anybody.
Right, I know.
Okay, so there's that. I came up, I didn't have to get any of that, and yet I walked into a 6-figure job. I dropped out of college and did the same thing, raising my daughter by myself. I don't believe that telling yourself things aren't going to work out for me, or oh my God, I have messed up. Once you believe that, that is your life.
I'm not talking about
You
belief.
tell yourself, I'm going to win. I'm going to win.
We got that, but I'm just saying people that born. I just want to see your opinion on people that born into.
I went to the illustrious Clark Atlanta University, and they told me to find a way or make one. So anybody born in any situation will do just that.
Then no
point. All right, pause real quick, Jay.
It is because right
All right, this is the stupid shit that me and Jay be talking about all the fucking time. You got these Black Republicans, conservatives, that want to holler, pull yourself up by the bootstrap. Stop crying and complaining about not getting the reparations as a handout, even though it's something that is owed to us historically. But then when we see what the Democrats are doing for illegal immigrants, not legal immigrants, but illegal immigrants, even some of the legal immigrants, they saying that's not right. Y'all could have gave that to us, or the white ones or whatever, saying y'all could have given them a fraction. But then you'll still have what she's trying to ask her a sensible, logical question, like, all right, well, you as a Republican, what do you think about the fact that you just said you was born into a destituted situation? This is not fair. But then you said, no, I ain't worried about it. Then shut the fuck up. This is exactly why we keep going through this merry-go-round and this stupid ass shit. Because stupid motherfuckers like her. And it's always coming from the right. This don't help our situation at all. You a fucking puppet. You was able to pull yourself up. Awesome, great. But then you just say your sister aged out of the foster care? Make that make fucking sense. This shit is just is just crazy, but we ain't gonna this is why we ain't getting nowhere also. And a lot of people had comments to say, man, we dropped the link. If y'all don't come up sooner or later, we're gonna bounce up out of here. So the link is in the description. You wanna come up? All right, we got one brave soldier, got Red in the building. What's good, Red, man? Say what you got to say so far before we get back to this ignorant shit.
I was 100% with you, and I'll explain why later until this, because two things can be true at the same time, okay? It is true that a society in which everyone can indeed
Red.
pull themselves
Wait, hold on, Red. Hold on, Red. You sound a little muffled.
Yeah, you muffled real bad.
Hold on. Is this any better right here?
No, it's still it's still kind of saying. Go ahead, drop out and come right back in. Maybe it might help you a little bit.
All right, I got you.
All right, y'all. So while Red drop out and come back, we're gonna go ahead and back to this ratchet shit on Ratchet Revolt.
now people are being allocated resources.
Let's let
and we
him
have
move.
people who
No,
need
but
those
the
resources.
conservatives say
We're
don't
talking
need the
about the fact that we're not prioritizing
Let's
American
let Young Jock.
citizens.
No, but that
we're
wasn't what
talking
I
about
asked
we're
you.
not prioritizing
No, you
American
heard me say at the
citizens.
beginning of what I said that I believe it should go to American citizens first.
Okay.
I said that, ma'am.
Okay,
I just
so
asked you
I'm
what was
pointing
your
out the fact
response.
that when we're talking about immigration, we understand that
But that wasn't what
Republicans
I
will
asked
not
you.
give out these resources.
That's all I wanted you
My
to say.
point is Democrats are only
That's all
proposing
I
that
asked
these
you.
resources go to a certain group, and Black people need to pay
Ma'am.
attention to the fact that y'all won't get those resources.
Ma'am.
That's the point. Y'all go ahead. Y'all move on.
Ma'am.
I'm right.
We
Move on.
said that it's not about right or wrong.
It is right.
No, it's not.
It is
I just
right.
want to know.
Black people won't get those resources, and therefore you should not vote for a Democrat who will allow foster children, veterans who lost limbs fighting for the country, veterans like you and this man here, not get those resources.
We agree. Girl, relax.
So if Democrats are giving them out, then why haven't Democrats given them to Black people?
Democrats. I asked
Why haven't they given them to Black
Is
people?
something wrong with her?
No,
No,
I'm
something wrong with her.
Y'all see how she's trying to switch it to make it seem like something's wrong with me when all I'm trying to do is point out the fact that Black people are not being prioritized in the administration. Therefore, when you ask about what Republicans are doing for us, what are Democrats doing for y'all? Besides putting you last.
Nobody asked you that.
Thank you.
All right, Jay, go ahead and pause it for a second. We got Jackson in the building. So what's up, Jackson? What's your thoughts on this show so far?
What's good, Big Op? Glad to be with y'all this evening. I just think it's a prime example of, hey, you could take the Negro out the ghetto, but you can't take the ghetto out the Negro. You know, I don't care how much fame and success and you know, fortune and people may climb the ladder, but you know, it's just niggas and flies. I hope I can say that on YouTube, but it is what it is. Ridiculous. It's embarrassing to our people, to our culture. You know, it starts at the top. The leader put this hostile, negative energy out there, and it's just spiraled. It was like a domino effect, you know. So I just think it's a lack of, you know, you do things in decency and in order, and it's just a lack of no leadership. So anything just kind of going and it's done got, you know, because politics, there's three topics in life that can get real personal and serious and touchy, and that's politics, religion, and sexuality. So, you know, it's just they're touchy topics. And I just think that, you know, especially the females are real emotional and dramatic. So, you know, really emotional. So that's what I think is a result of, and nobody's listening. Nobody's having that conversation. Nobody's, you know what I'm saying, just getting to solve a problem and understand each other's point of view.
Yeah, and I agree to that because the crazy thing is we like she talking about I'm a big dog and all this shit, and then she's like want to bring it back to order. But you didn't already started this chaos. Then you said it was okay. Now I said this a moment ago. I'm tired of when we have conservatives come up that are saying they're the better party, but then they start acting like this idiot that's the host. You know what I'm saying? So real quick, then I'm gonna go to Red. What's your thoughts on the fact that um we doing all of this right now? We got a good platform, a lot of people watching, but they can't sort out what's being said, and it seems to always be these people, and they think that when they put black people on it, whether they're conservative or not or Democrat, that this is the best way to get our voices heard.
Oh, but I think it's ridiculous, you know, because it's a lot of people got things to say, you know. Young Jock can't get a word in. It's a lot of people that, you know, got strong point of views and ideas and thoughts and stuff that they need to share. That's what the floor and the panel was for, you know. But it's just one of the things you just, hey, if you don't get up and leave, you just sit back and let them wild out.
Yeah, and I think this shit is sad. So Red, let me hear your audio. Let me see if you're good now.
I should be better. I think I got my other headphones on.
There you go. Yeah, I can hear you. All right. So what's your thoughts on the show? And you said you also wanted to speak to something I said earlier.
Yeah, well, I mean, the whole thing so far, I mean, oof. I kind of understand where you guys are coming from a little better now because this is absolutely embarrassing. Especially if these are like this is your mainstream representation, kind of like the NABJ conference. Really not so good. But I think one solution, before I get into more critique, one solution to this would be we have the saying in battle rap called bars over names. And that means the content of what you bring to the table means more than your popularity. And I don't see that anymore in mainstream culture, including the Black community. And I think that's one of the problems, because all these people, oh, it's a big name, she's popular, she did this, she did that. But what is she actually bringing to the table? What is she presenting us with? Like I said, Detroit Baddies audition. That's what this sounded like.
Yeah, this shit is really fucking this shit is fucking sickening, man. And that's my point. So if we're just 13-14% of the population, and most of the times, which is over half, 50, at least 51% when you say most of the time, you turn on TV, you turn on YouTube, everything, this is the same shit that we're seeing. And my thing is this: if the host was really trying to have an organized show where people can talk, and then people were acting erratic, belligerent, and all that, hey, you gotta leave. But take a commercial break, you gotta get the fuck on. But no, she's exalting the same shit, and that's what's really fucking it up. Um, all right, so I mean, oh well, Ray, you got something else you can say?
Yeah, well, when it comes to the two Black conservatives here, the angle they approach, although at times the dude got triggered at the beginning, but I think the woman has kind of held her own. However, when it comes to not even just conservative Black people, but those who seek to talk to both sides, like Ice Cube, like I Swear Vezo, they immediately get hated on. They immediately get called this, that, and the third. And it drives independent people to become conservative.
True. I agree, because when Cube did that year, and I think he was being fair and trying to be logical, because that's what I was trying to do. Matter of fact, that's the same year I was looking at, like, okay, let's see what Cube got to say. Then I was thinking, like, all right, would it be this? Would it be that? I don't like certain things Trump say. Of course, Biden was had a little more decorum and all that. You know, when he wasn't following the
Yeah,
seat.
but he said way worse things. It's like they attacked Cube, like, how could you meet with Donald Trump? Did you hear what he said? It's like, did you hear what Joe Biden said? He said he didn't want his kids growing in a racial jungle.
Exactly. So that's my thing. So if we're gonna go off of that, I don't see how. And when I said decorum, I'm talking about, you know, at that state of time, not the old stuff that he said. But my thing is, this is to be looked at as a business. And if people were really smart, anybody that's voting as an American, we have other candidates that we can look at. The problem is, like we was talking the other night, Democrats and Republicans, that's what we put our money at the most. So that's what we see all the fucking time. We'll keep saying the lesser of the two evils. No, it's really bullshit.
See,
We're
you're
being
right.
lazy.
It is a business.
To place
Exactly. And if you're at a business that sucks, what do? You find a new employer. But you don't just go to the next job site and say, oh, I'm here. Let me work now. You have to negotiate with different employers.
right. That's exactly what it is. So it's really on us as a people at the end of the day. But Jay, go ahead and hit play. I'm surprised you ain't bounced back bounce back, but go ahead and hit play. We're gonna play a little bit more, and then we're gonna just have a little commentary ourselves before we get out of here, because we the only ones that seem to can talk, and they on a big ass streaming platform right now. But go ahead, Jay.
Please go ahead and share your thoughts.
I didn't ask you any of that, girl. Relax.
I had to put it in there because I saw where you were trying to pitch it.
No,
and I wasn't
ask you a simple question. You the one that was at Chick-fil-A, wasn't you?
No, yeah, it was
okay,
me.
yeah, I thought so.
What does that mean? Does that prove a point of some sort?
No, I just want to know. It's a simple question. Why y'all can't answer simple questions? What's wrong with it? Let us finish. Girl, relax.
But people try to associate Chick-fil-A.
No, I asked because I wanted to make sure there was one because you was in that.
But I was also the girl who spoke at the rally.
Yeah, and so was I.
I'm also the girl who mobilizes HBCU students every year. I'm also the one who provides internships and jobs to these kids. So stop acting like all I am is a girl that showed up at Chick-fil-A.
Do you want to do the receipt?
Is this Seinfeld?
How many people in this room have met with legends? Okay, can you let him tell where you meet him at? Because if I ran into Trump at a gas station, I would have been just as excited. So trying to act like
you ride for Trump, we get it. We get it.
I respect high offices, and therefore, yes, I would be honored to meet a president, regardless of who it is. Go ahead.
The people are literally asking you to stop so we can move on.
They didn't ask you to stop, but
it's my show. See, that's the problem. You think it's business. Oh my God.
Oh my God, I'm big dog.
No, actually, you should. It's okay. Actually, I didn't see that happen at the debate, but okay.
All right, there's some things we can all align. No, respectfully, right?
when I first got the opportunity to talk, I spoke on the concept of us, being passionate about what we believe in our beliefs. And the simplest assessment that I could come up with tonight from being back in the green room, watching y'all before I got out here, I realized we all get riled up for both of these parties, right? And the only time I seen everybody calm down and all that shit subside, where we could talk like adults and actually listen, is when we all realized ain't nobody really did shit for us when it comes to reparations. And that's when y'all all got quiet. When you start, no, when y'all start talking about these immigrants getting it all, they're getting reparations.
So
Really, basically.
he don't believe in reparations.
But okay, even if he doesn't, I noticed the room, the air changed, the climate immediately, it got stiff for a second, like, oh, now everybody agree. Ain't neither side done any of that for any of us.
But he don't believe in reparations.
So I started to realize.
Next say something while I'm talking is getting shot. Please believe that.
This is where the divisiveness comes in at that one moment when we all came to this point of realizing that ain't nobody got no reparations in this room. Nobody look like us. But it don't matter if he believe in it or not. I noticed that everybody in the room was like, oh shit. Everybody else did, but we ain't. So are we all getting played on either side of it?
But they never say, no, this is important, because this is why we keep me and this brother dance and do this all the time. We do this all the time. I don't have no problem saying Democrats say shit, Republicans say shit. My problem with a lot of, because I'm independent, but my problem with a lot of Republicans is they never acknowledge that Republicans also. That's not what he's saying. Okay. They're not saying that, oh, we don't get what we want from either party. They're saying, which is why I invited them here to stomp down hard for Trump. They are saying that the Republican Party is better. They are saying that Trump is better. They are saying, this brother said, Democrats, I admit, Democrats don't do what they should do. It's usually on this side of the aisle where they actually say, we don't do both sides. On this side, you do not get acknowledgement on what Republicans don't do. You heard the brother proud to say, ain't nobody gonna get to be in the big house but us. Baby, that ain't no flex. That ain't no flex. Ain't nobody trying to be in the house. I'm in the field all day. So what I'm saying is that's not true. When we talk about reparations, it'll get just back turned up. So I know you want a peaceful, calm environment, but unfortunately, that's just not where we at.
It's not about peaceful and calm, but I sat here and I watched when y'all started talking about the immigrants and people, no matter what side you on, red or blue, everybody felt the same. It was the same context of like saying, all these people getting it, we still ain't got. Yeah. So then wait, but then once that point got pushed off of this little table right here, off the little coffee table, it dissipated. Shit went right back up because it went back to going to opposing side.
I know, but Jack, what I'm trying to tell you is,
because I think there's some things
he believes that Republicans, they believe that Republicans is the way.
And it's safe to say that you're much further leaning left than I am. Absolutely. I think there's some things that he and I can agree to, and that's where we need to go in our community. We don't have to agree on all things, but we do need to start finding some alignment. And so here's where I would say, that brother just sat here and told me that his parents immigrated to this country and took no handouts. And my father immigrated to this country and did the same. And FAFSA didn't exist for my mother. They both went to HBCUs, they both worked 2 jobs, they both put themselves through school, and they both did a great job with me, my 2 sisters, bought homes, multiple homes, sold them, and built wealth. And it sounds like to me, your parents, who had the same work ethic, turned you into a relatively, I'm gonna use the word successful or productive citizen in this country. Sure. And so, irregardless of whether I'm on the left or I'm in the right, we got to do a better job. What this brother was saying earlier, finding some alignment. Well, hold on. Finding some alignment, because if this young lady goes to the White House, or Ted's you the one, and you go into the White House, and the rest of us don't,
clear about that.
And the rest of us don't, what we need in our community is Black Americans that are going to represent the concerns of all Black Americans, not just those on the left or the right or independent.
Brother, the problem that we have every single time is you never talk about what the Republicans do wrong. And I'm going to keep pressing that all the time, because although he said, yes, his parents picked himself up out of bootstrap, he's also a Democrat that believes in a safety net to give the resources to those who were born in difficult situations. And we've had this conversation. But we've had this conversation, and we ain't going to sit up here and play no game because Young Jock got y'all feeling good about, oh, man, we all aligned. We all aligned that we're not getting what we're supposed to get. But brother, each and every time you still don't say that Republicans do something wrong. That's all.
I'm gonna let my jump in. I done got me up in this debate all night. Yeah, man.
That's the question. Actually, a couple of things. One, I think it's a huge misnomer that all immigrants are Latinx, right? I think it's a lot of African people of African descent also make up a large part of the immigrant population, just like you just said, and just like he's already spoken to. So we are actually helping our own people when we help immigrants, right? Because if we're all people of African descent, don't we all agree?
Man, get the fuck out of here.
So we are helping our people when we help people of African descent that are coming from Belize, that are coming from Honduras, that are coming from Jamaica, that are coming from DR, that are coming from Haiti. Those are people of African descent. So those are our people that we're helping. I think they use that they say that it's Latinx people to kind of confuse the issue, but when you really look at the numbers, there's just as many people of African descent that are immigrating into this
Coming in
country
from
as
all
well.
over the
The other thing I
world.
want to talk about though is
Wait, hold on, brother. Wait, because he's really about to go in. So I want to show, just like for sake of Young Jock, because he really wants to be kumbaya. Y'all agree that y'all pulled up by the bootstraps. My parents wasn't no immigrants. So no, I'm just saying y'all agree. But this is where the disagreement comes into play. So it's cool, they agree, but baby, the disagreement comes into play when we start talking about the solution. And it is okay to have a disagreement in the solution. We don't have to just stay right here and say we just agree to agree. No, when we start talking about the solution, that's where you're gonna see these brothers got different opinions. He gonna say, oh hell no, we not helping no immigrants over Black Americans. And this brother gonna say, no, there still needs to be, if he's a true Democrat, a safety net for those who cannot. Democrat socialist to the highest level. So explain your position so Young Jock can see
That's not
that
socialism.
no, this is where the solution, the difference of opinion comes in the solution, and that is what politics is all about. So even though y'all agree that y'all pulled up by the bootstraps, what is your position when it comes to immigration and helping immigrants? Let's just put it on the table. We already know y'all disagree. I just want to hear his opinion.
Great. Yeah. So a couple of things. I think one, weaponizing local law enforcement to enforce immigration policy is wrong, right? Because we know that harkens back to the times where you had to check your freedom papers. The fact of the matter is that whether you're Black from Jamaica, or you Black from Atlanta, or you Black from Mississippi, when that police officer pulls your ass over, they see a Black person. They don't care if you got an accent or not. And so we are stronger together than we are opposed to one another. So I have been on record not supporting the laws that the Republicans have been trying to pass here in the state of Georgia around making sure that local law enforcement can jail undocumented people in the city of Atlanta and across the state of Georgia. Because one, we want to talk about money. Do you know how much money it costs to run these detention centers? Do you know how much money it costs to enforce these immigration laws on people who oftentimes, the idea that people are coming to this country knowing their papers are not legit and they're going to come here and commit all these crimes is just ridiculous. Most immigrants are trying to what? Stay under the radar. If your parents are immigrants, what they say? Listen, we just work. We're not trying to cause no waves. We're not saying none of that because they already know they already are coming to an extra level of scrutiny just because they have that undocumented status by their name. And so I believe that we're throwing good money over good by spending so much money on enforcing these immigration laws instead of creating a pathway for people to have citizenship.
Right. So that's that's all I'm saying, Jack. It can be nice and quiet for just that 1-2 minutes.
Now,
but once we start getting into the solution, that's where things
I'm gonna wait till I have the floor.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
We talk about the resources and what it takes to run a penitentiary, right? Okay, that's absurd. Democrats said that $5 billion was too much to build a wall. And today we spent $450 billion on policies and programs and resources for migrants. And that pretty much sums it up. That pretty much sums it up.
You're talking about the
we
wall.
Can't complain about
You're talking
resources.
about the wall.
I don't hear anybody in our community challenging Clayton County right now relative to the budget as it relates to the prison.
Oh, me?
Nobody.
I went after him. I went after Victor Hill. I went after Victor Hill.
Can I have the floor?
Yeah, please.
I get it that liberal politicians are arguing the point.
But let's not say nobody. The brother just said it did.
The people of these communities. The people of these communities not arguing about what's invested in the prison, but liberals will argue about the resources.
We can't acknowledge it because you used the absolute. You said nobody. The brother said he did though.
They want to argue. They want to argue about the resources that are needed in all types of programs, prison, schools, etc., so forth and so on. But the people down on the ground, the people in Pittman Park, and the dudes off Techwood, they not complaining. They not talking about how the prison is funded. The reality is that money flows back into liberal politicians' pockets, et cetera, so forth and so on, and it never makes it into improvements in these facilities. It doesn't make it into these kids' pockets, et cetera, so forth and so on. And that's from somebody who grew up in a blue city as an institutional Democrat.
Let me. So
relax, brother. Let him respond. Stop. No. You made your position. Let him respond.
Let him respond. Stop clapping after you just interrupted him 5 times.
One, to know me, Michaela knows this because she sees me down at City Hall.
This is my first time meeting you. Everybody.
She sees me down at City Hall. She sees me down at Fulton County Commission, the largest county in the state of Georgia. They just tried to propose
he voted for
a
Stacey
$2
Abrams.
billion jail. And you know who came down there to speak about it? It was Black folks. Old Black folks, young Black folks who knew that if we were spending $2 billion on a new jail, that meant that they were going to defund senior services. That means that they were going to defund our hospitals. And guess what? This isn't a partisan issue because many of the people who proposed this were Democrats. They got D's by their name. And I had smoke for them too. Because if you're going to stand against Black people, no matter what party you're affiliated with, you're going to have a problem with me.
So why did you say nobody?
The Democrats that are pushing for the construction of a prison in this state are the same Democrats that benefit from the set-asides associated with the construction of that prison.
Sir, hold on, wait a minute.
The reality is they want to push money into building prisons because it makes money.
Stop talking loud. We got to acknowledge this brother works because you sat up here and said nobody said anything. And this brother just told you that he did.
No,
so
I'm saying that Black folks went down and lobbied for.
But who cares? He's trying to make a point about it. Why are you interrupting him on this tiny little point?
Next
say something while I'm talking is getting shot. Please believe that.
Like,
Hey,
damn, they should have muted this like they muted the presidential.
Well,
Red. Well, she been interrupting the whole time, but you know, I mean, they're going back and forth at it on the situation. You know what I'm saying? And I think both brothers got a point to a degree.
yeah, I mean, but the sad thing is the host is doing that bias shit. So even though you may not agree with them because they're Republican, all right, cool, that's fine. But let the man finish his point. You let the other brother finish his point. Let him finish his point. And that's the other shit that's annoying about this is like you just said, Jackson. Both of them were making good points. Then she was like, "Oh well, hold on. You say ain't nobody." But the brother just said he did. Instead of letting him finish his point, then say, all right, well, but do you acknowledge that he's saying what he's saying? And maybe you didn't know that, but you got somebody right there that you could actually connect with. She's doing this divided separation. It's her.
Exactly.
Yep.
Red, go ahead. What
Point
you got
right
on
there. No. That point right there. If we
What's
really
that?
pay attention to what's the point that you just said, if we really pay attention to what's going on right now, they were having a conversation across. One guy made a point, another guy made a point. They hashed out for a second, but then they started to fucking agree. And as soon as she saw that, she was like, "Oh hell no! Oh fuck no!
We can't have these two plantations communicating with each other. We got to keep them
Yeah,
separated."
that's what she literally did. I was sitting back watching. I'm like,
Right.
lady, do you do? Like, I'll say it, bitch. Are you a spawn of Satan? Because
Well, no.
something's
Here's what
wrong
it
with her.
is. She's media trained. She's taught to do this.
No, Red. If you want to be real about it, that lady ain't media trained for shit because she wouldn't act that way. That's just a black woman that got a job because if people don't know, she used to campaign for Bernie Sanders. So she got her name out there.
Who's
And,
another Democratic socialist?
I don't have an issue with Bernie Sanders. Bernie, here you go. I bet money you like Bernie Sanders than her. But look,
Oh
either
yeah.
way. But besides the point, though, that's how she got into the game of the politics shit. But she is the one that's causing all of this unrest right now. And we can see it. There was a point, even when Jock was like, look, man, y'all, like, I saw when the temperature
Yeah,
came down. When y'all
Jock was kind of like leaving one of the plantations.
Next say something while I'm talking is getting shot. Please believe that.
Hold on, Red. Hold on. Let Jay. Ain't gonna keep hitting you with that. Let Jay finish, and I got you next. I'm gonna go to you next, but let Jay finish, and I got you.
I'll just be done with it real quick. When young Jock said what he said, just to prove the point that she's the one that constantly keeps trying to keep this divide, even though she talked about working together and all this voodoo shit. When young Jock said, look, when it came down to the money going to the immigrants, everybody's temperature came down and was like, nah, the Republicans ain't doing nothing for me, Democrats ain't doing nothing for me. And she wanted to ruin it. Like, I don't care about that. No, what he got to say. She wanted to keep it going. She likes chaos. She said it. Chaos is good for her. Age of the chaos, I guess. But yeah, I'm quiet. Let me slide out real quick too.
That's
So like
that's
you
what the
said,
media
Red,
trains
with
you to be.
with that ignorant shit. Like, no, I think I would have to agree with Jay. It's more so. It depends on what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? They're allowing, like we said earlier, certain people to get in, get the mic, and say some dumbass fucking shit. But go ahead, speak on that. They was almost on some bipartisan shit, Republican, Democrat.
Yep.
They was saying they was agreeing. So what's your thoughts on that?
Well, it's pretty obvious. I mean, and this is what, she's worked for a lot of mainstream news companies. And what they do is they just have, two 30-second debates where they try to provoke and make things as controversial as possible without discussing any solutions. Because unfortunately, that's what gets the most clicks. And Jay was right. What's his name? Young Jock. He was kind of wandering off one of the plantations there for a second, and she caught his ass and brought him back.
Red,
Yeah,
I know
and
I'm
then
doing. I know I'm doing something I'm not supposed to do. I know, and Miss Jackson, please get in here. Red, how the hell do you not know who Young Jock is, and you are a rapper? I'm just
I've
sorry.
heard his
That's
name.
flat out.
I've heard his music. I've heard his music, but I've never heard him in person.
oh yeah, he a OG. But even the guy on the left, the Democrat, he was, willing to say, hey, he even said, I'm willing to come to some terms and hear the other side, the other party out, and and he said, I even admit that the Democrats need to step their A game up. But immigration is an important topic because we need to understand why this is going on, why they're allowing these people to come through the borders, and what's the point and the purpose of it to benefit our nation. So, and definitely about the spiritual with the Bible and the Christian laws and Jesus Christ and so forth. All of them are really, they're touching on real important topics, but so even the guy on the Democrats, I think he had an open mind and he was willing to kind of compromise and relate.
Yeah, and this is where we are seeing terrible things. And when it just comes to Americans all over trying to have conversation and separation and divide is not working for anybody. Ray, I'm gonna let you say something real quick, then we're gonna go back a little bit back to the video.
Yeah, she was doing it the whole time. I mean, brother first started saying, "Hey, I like accountability," and she's like, "Oh, you ain't getting none tonight. You ain't married." And and the other girl was like, "Hey, maybe you shouldn't open your legs." And they went nuts.
Can I get one more point in? Can I get one more point
Yeah,
in, just real quick?
yeah, go ahead, and then you can go ahead and start the video back.
Yeah, and the dude in the black shirt that's leaning up right now, if y'all can see him on screen, he's very emotional. Like there is a big talking point.
He did let them get to him.
Yeah, there's a big talking point on social media that like guys on the left are like they're not really alpha males, they're kind of beta for being on the left. This guy's very emotional too. So I'm like, we got to be real about it. Like, it's not even which party you go with. Y'all think, like, I don't know why people are starting to try to say your party affiliation determines whether you're, when it comes to men, alpha or
It
beta
does.
or masculine. What's up with this guy? Is
There's
he the exception?
Yeah, because there's psychological research that shows different traits.
Oh, if that's the case, then I'm cool with it. I just know a lot of the mass shooters happen to be Republican.
No, but I agree. Dude is emotional.
Did they play?
Prison, see, this is where the problem is. It's never no accountability.
None of the people in those communities are asking.
You said nobody.
Lobbied against
Brother,
politicians in the Democrat Party that got construction companies and so forth.
brother, I need you to acknowledge what this brother
I'm in the construction industry.
Brother, you ain't the only one doing the work.
It's about running that money right back through the circle.
I just want to know why the brother can't acknowledge your work.
Listen.
Why he can't acknowledge your work though?
Listen. The problem
That's
is
weird, brother.
The problem is because I understand that we sometimes speak in absolute and hyperbole, right? I know that was an SAT word I dropped down. It's cool. But sometimes we gotta speak, we just gotta speak to the facts and we gotta speak to the rock.
Yep.
The fact of the matter is that our mayor, our city council, our county commission, who are Democrats and Republicans, push to expand the prison industrial complex in the city of Atlanta. That was bipartisan support, right?
Fair.
In Georgia, who has been mostly under Republican leadership, and even when it was Democrats, they were Dixiecrats, so they were Republicans for all intents and purposes. They have governed a budget where we spend $8.1 billion on police, prisons, and jails. We don't spend that on public education. We don't spend that on hospitals. We don't spend that on money and direct assistance to Black communities. We don't.
Okay.
And it's a Republican issue too.
Right.
And so, to your point, Tez, this is sometimes my frustration with Trumpers, with Republicans, with conservatives, because I can call out the folks on the left.
That's right.
In fact, I spend more time fighting people on the left than I do on the right because they're trying to out-Republican y'all.
That's right.
But the problem that I have with conservatives is that, particularly Black conservatives, is we can see as plain as day, Republicans will push an agenda that is not for Black people, and y'all will say, y'all will come up with every rhyme, reason, excuse, tap dance, this, that, and the third. Come on.
But
sometimes we got to call a thing.
The current vice president said that she would not support a policy that was directed toward Black Americans, but she gave $25 to $50 million to Asian Americans.
Okay.
Come on.
Yes.
Am I one of them Black Republicans?
You are not one of those Black
Republicans. You are not.
Which is why we go to lunch together.
So we got Young Jock. So to make Young Jock happy, we got two people where they agree. All we saying is, because Young Jock really want y'all to be happy. We got to move to the immunity. We got to move on. All I'm saying is, sis, all I'm saying is, we want to see that, or at least me, more in the public space. You know, the
I mean, I'm not as public.
Sometimes you have less than a second to make a life and death decision, and sometimes very bad decisions are made. They're not made from an evil standpoint, but they're made from the standpoint of they made a mistake. They're going to be indemnified. We're going to pay them for their costs, for their lawyers. You know, policemen have to go, in many cases, hire a lawyer to protect themselves. The state doesn't want to get involved. These people are crazy. When they're standing there in front of a department store that's being looted by 400, mostly kids, but other people too, and they want to do something so badly, but they're told not to because there's liability. They're not going to have any more liability. They're going to do their job. They're going to stop it.
Away from your hot steaming water.
Away from hot steaming water?
Yeah.
Oh, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus.
I swear to God, you drink your face.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Drop the pot and drop the pot. What did I do? You're up there, nobody, my girlfriend's dead.
Tell him we have 1-10-15.
What is I don't know. There's somebody when I was banging at the door and she said, who is it? And they just started shooting. No.
I can't go, man. I can't breathe.
Take a seat.
Please, man. Please.
Do you want to deal? He's under arrest right now for forgery. Okay, let's figure out what's going on.
We've had this conversation before. I know the Republican talking point is they already got immunity, but Donald Trump has said that he believes in federal immunity. Want to get the thoughts on it? Let's go with Jock first because we don't have y'all take over and then Jock can sit up in front. So let him be the cooler head.
Man, on immunity. So you know me, like I'm a good guy. You know what I'm saying? I'm getting a lot of trouble with all for real. And I've seen police handle me so crazy sometimes, man. And it's just like they got to be held accountable. Just immunity because you've gone through an academy, you made a pledge, you know what I'm saying, an oath to the community and to be a protector and a servant of the community. That's great. I do applaud good policing. I applaud it. Like, I'm gonna keep it 100. Some people are just, some people need governing. Period, point blank. A lot of us do. Let's just be for real. So when you get a good police officer, it's one thing. But when you like myself, I've been in a situation where I've been snatched out the car, thrown right into these two right here. This right here. These two. This come from handcuffs. They were looking for my brother. I had nothing to do with nothing going on. I still got thrown into the bushes. I got beat up. They tried to put a murder charge on me, right? Then they found out they had the wrong person. I still got charged with criminal disorderly conduct, which is a criminal charge. So I can't even go and get my firearm, my carry concealed permit because at that point, I can't now, but at that point, because it was a criminal charge. But I'm like, hey, so what's gonna happen? Y'all just beat me up and did all this to me. I still didn't get the charge taken away. I think sometimes, man, you gotta understand, when we start talking about immunity, Stephen A. He was just talking about with Tyreek Hill. And he said, well, all you had to do was roll the window. He told you don't roll the window down. No, he told you don't roll the window, just leave the window down. Well, you're looking at it on that end, but when you getting pulled over and the level of aggression is already here before, because they ain't treating you like they treating Tom.
No.
Hi, hey, great. Just want to let you know you're speeding. I was like, you get your license. No, I ain't think they like walking up their hand on the gun off real. I just told a story today. Tell me I'm lying. I told the doctor, I told the police officer, hey man, listen, y'all got the wrong car to just sped past you. I said, I'm having twins right now. He said, you having twins right now? I said, yeah, I got to get there. He said, hold on. He called back up. Back up, Cam. I'm like, why I call back up? Snatched me out of the car, boom, threw me handcuffs. I said, hey, why you doing that? You know what he said? Because I'm trying to save your life. Because I know that you have a real serious situation right now. I don't want you to do anything that goes against what we're telling you because you feel in your mind, you got to get to this hospital to see your twins be born. And something happened, I kill you right here on the side of the expressway. And I looked at him like, damn, I ain't never see it like that. But you know what I'm saying? Because it put me in a position where I was like, hey, man, but I wasn't finna do nothing to get killed or I'm going to jail. Y'all tell me I'm going to jail. Tell me I was going to jail.
So the other officer didn't anything ever happen to him? Were they ever,
no, and that police officer, he apologized. He said, man, I'm sorry. He didn't have to slam you on the ground like that. I dusted you off a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
So I want to see if you're gonna stand. So I want to see if you're gonna stand on business because I know your position with this. So let's run back what you said last time as far as
I'm pro. Look,
you pro what?
The police departments across America, the vast majority of the stops that happen on a day-to-day basis are correct. They are just, and the vast majority of police officers across America are doing a great job in our communities and in others. That's it. These incidents that you see, like the one we just saw that they just had on the screen, are an issue. Okay, they are an issue, but they are exceptions, not the rule. And so what we need, in my opinion, as a young Black Republican, and I disagree with a lot of other Republicans on this topic, is we need a right-sized approach to deal with these exceptions. and hold those folks accountable.
Do you say
that's my opinion.
So what I asked you earlier about disproportion, you know how you like to give the disproportionate facts on abortion?
Yeah, I went crazy.
Would you say that disproportionately, the exceptions that you're talking about, do they disproportionately affect Black men?
I would say that Black men are pulled over more disproportionately stereotyped and pulled over than any other group of folks in America. Yes, I would. I would. We're not running from the truth.
No, but earlier you wouldn't. When I asked you that, remember we talked about that for like over an hour. You didn't want to like.
I just wanted to the other topic. I would agree with you in this
topic.
Sure.
All right, so she still was kind of digging at Young Jock, and then Republicans go to talking, then she wanna go back to doing that. So I guess we're gonna have more conversation right now. Jackson, you shared a couple candid stories with us about the bullshit that you went through. That was crazy, you know, and I shared one story with you as well. So what's your thoughts on that? Because I know we do have a lot of conservatives that will overlook that. We have the Democrats that will act like they're aligned with what needs to be done, but we'll still see a lot of them to support the bullshit that the police do. So what's your thoughts on one part that you know they were trying to have a good conversation and then she came in with the bullshit again, but also from your experience, the way you want to deal with you know how the police should be held accountable and do they really need more immunity?
Okay, so what I do like about the Democrat side is they are addressing the fact that you know, they putting all this money and investing in building prisons but working on governing police brutality. So they point out that that's an issue, that's a problem, especially the young brother in the next to Young Jock, you know, and they're addressing that is an issue, you know. So what I'm hearing from the other guy on the Republican side is justifying, you know, a little justification going on to the behavior, you know, where there's exceptions to the rules, you know, and little ends and odds, instead of, you know, saying, hey, what can this immunity do to make a drastic and speedy change in lives? You know what I'm saying? I mean, people getting killed by the day over nothing, innocent people, you know what I'm saying, being targeted by the authorities, the ones who're supposed to protect and serve. So the Democrat Party is addressing the issue and recognizing it is a problem, you know, that we putting our time and money into the wrong thing, building prisons instead of starting at the top, and that's governing the police authority.
But also, like, it's a good thing they're addressing it. But do you also see how things can happen even when Democrats are running things? Like, you know, that they'll address it, but a lot of times they don't do nothing.
Well, I think that's from both sides. A lot of them hypocrites. You know what I mean? You know, I can see that on both ends. You know, say one thing, do another. But yeah, you know, but well, he did go ahead and put it out there that young brother besides Young Jock, that you know they was pretty much spending the money and, like I said, investing in building prisons, $1 billion prison, just like in the state of Georgia, for example, that he used, you know. And so yeah, I mean, at least he put that out there. You see what I'm saying?
So last question, I'm gonna go to Red. So do you think that means it's on us as a community that we hold either side responsible? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna just keep it real. The defund the police situation didn't make really no sense. I understand why it was said, but it didn't happen. Not only that, JVJ brought up a good thing. Like when money comes out, when the police force gets sued, it's coming from the taxpayers' money. It's not coming from the police pension fund or none of that shit. You know what I'm saying? So do you think that we need to really hold them accountable, whoever's running whatever, like, no, this is not right. And if you don't do something about it, our vote is gonna go somewhere else next election.
Hell yeah. You know, why the hell should hard-working American citizens pay for, you know, somebody else's mistakes? That need to come directly from the police force, you know? So yeah, they from taxpayers paying for it, that's ridiculous. So hell yeah, something need to be done about it ASAP.
For real, I agree with you. So Red, I got a question for you. Do you think that there's something we can do better when it comes to police reform, whether it's better training whether it's
course.
actually, looking into investigating what's being done when they do fuck up.
Obviously, and it's a very nuanced, complex problem. The system of governance, which ultimately ends up in the enforcement of violent measures. That's what all civilization is based off of. You follow the rules because if you don't follow the rules long enough, somebody with a gun is gonna stop that. And young Jock was going on he was kind of cooking. I might have to go re-listen to his stuff because of that. But he was bringing up a lot of the nuanced points that I'm sure he understands. And again, this woman had to stop him from wandering off. But she and her ilk, they make claims about, oh, well, Republicans said this, Republicans said that. Well, when I talk to actual people, no matter who they are, and they call themselves conservatives or liberals, when I say, hey, the private prison system should be abolished, we shouldn't be making money off of people going to prison. Everyone agrees. Nobody disagrees with ending a private prison system. And those sorts of unions, those sorts of branches that can be formed between us, make us stronger. But you got harlots like this bitch who just want to prevent any of that from happening.
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought that up because somebody educated me on that some years back, maybe 10 years ago or so, and they was sharing with me the statements that was put out by these private systems and what they had with going public, going IP, that this is the amount of money that's going to be made, and this is actually how many people are supposed to be in the prison because they lose money, and their people that buy into the stocks and shares are pissed off about that shit. So you brought up a good point about that. So where do you think is an issue why they're able to thrive like they do?
Because it's a privatized institution. It should be totally nationalized or subsidized. That way, individual populations would have a responsibility. Because, like Young Jock said, some people need governance. Some people just need enforcement of the law. It's the only language they understand. Some people are just wild. So that needs to be there. But at the same time, I mean, who's investing in the private prison complex? It's all the big media outlets. It's all the record companies, Sony, Universal, Time Warner. And look at the filth and the degeneracy and the crime that they're promoting and their messaging. It makes them money both ways. So if you get the money out, you nationalize it, a lot of the problem will start to evaporate.
Yeah, and see that's the difficult. Motherfuckers want to get that bag. But we're gonna play maybe a few more minutes and then we'll close out with our statements or whatever because I'm surprised we even made it through this motherfucker. I'm still a little buzzed. I ain't even get another drink yet. But go ahead, Jay, play a little bit more.
Because again, in the spirit of being bipartisan, it is not a Democrat or Republican issue. Because the Democrats
They
have
say it is,
supported.
though.
I don't believe so. Because I see every day how Democratic officials empower the police, make excuses for the police, don't prosecute the police.
Both sides.
Right? On both sides.
Both sides.
That's bipartisan. So I don't want to make this a Republican or Democrat issue because it is an American problem. It is America's problem. It is for both political parties. Because right now, folks has smoked with Fani Willis for a variety of reasons, right? Around this Trump case. That actually wasn't my issue.
But
my issue with DA Willis was all of the police officers who we know have killed people, like Deacon Holloman, a 62-year-old.
But before we move to goalposts, I want to know. Okay, but before we move to goalposts, I still want to know the answer to my question about Trump and saying that he would grant immunity to all police officers. What's your position on that?
I think that immunity granted to all police officers it impacts relative to protecting police and allowing them to do their jobs. I think that serves 98 or 99%.
So should it be immunity for all federal police officers? Yes or no?
With it until we have a right-sized approach to dealing with
so the answer is yes.
But we need to deal with the exceptions in our community.
We got it, but the answer is yes.
We left out the part of the interview though where he also said there would be an ethics board.
I want to get a clear answer. I want to get a clear answer before you start talking.
The question is yes.
Yes, you support. That's all I wanted to get to know. Yeah.
But I also said don't get hung up on listen to everything I said. Okay. What I said was we need to find a right-sized approach for the exceptions. The vast majority of police officers need to be able to do their jobs free of red tape and other types of shenanigans that would distract from this conversation today.
What makes
Taking
it
place
an
in places like California.
What's an exception?
So
What's
the
wait,
police
involved?
we just saw young lady.
Can I say something real quick?
Go
Please.
ahead, co-host.
I'm not the co-host. I'm just the guy that just.
Hey, when we up here, we co-host. Go ahead, sir.
I'm just the guy that's rudely interrupting right now. This is one thing I can't stand about whether he know it, he will be labeled in his own community as a house nigga. Because what just came out of his mouth, you literally believe that 98%, I can easily disprove 98% of cops are good cops. You know why? Because it takes so goddamn long to get body cams. It takes so goddamn long to get any police officer that saw this guy do some fucked up shit to say something about it. And then when we see good cops stand up and actually say something about what these fucked up cops do, they the ones who end up fired. It's not 98% are good. No. I'll say some of them are impartial. They kind of in the middle. They independent. I ain't good nor bad. But I ain't
So you
saying
think 98% are bad?
No, I'm saying 98% are not good. That's crazy to say. Think about how often things happen. Like they keep trying to act like
But think about how often police interact with people on a daily basis.
Exactly, and that's one point I wanted to get to. Red, you gave me another question, so I'm going a little bit longer. He said the exceptions that we see, where people are either brutalized or something was illegally done to them. Most American citizens don't even know their rights. You know how you know that? Because the cops don't even know the damn laws they're supposed to enforce.
Exactly.
We have people that don't know they were even done wrong that don't even report it. That don't even say shit. And I've said shit about it. I know I've said shit about it. I know Miss Jackson done had situations. And I'm damn sure, be honest, Red, I bet you done had situations where if you thought back, the police did some fucked up shit yesterday. But you know your rights now. I'm talking about when you didn't know your rights.
No, I always knew my rights since like 14.
All right, hey, look, thumbs up for you. But there are so many incidents that happen with all these so-called police interactions that they're violating people on the regular. And nothing ever happens. Nobody ever hears about it. Then we talk about the situations where the news actually catches it. But the news don't catch all this shit.
Yeah.
But do you know what else the news doesn't catch? You know what else the news doesn't catch?
All the good stuff.
Yeah. And I think this should be publicized because, like, you could edit a clip together, like that clip we just saw. It was an edit.
Next say something while I'm talking is getting shot. Please believe that.
Sorry, I thought I was talking.
I was still talking, but it wasn't. Look, I ain't the one who pushed that.
No, you want to land the plane?
Yeah, I did want to land it, but like even to your point that you're making, like right there, yes, the good shit should be publicized. No, and you actually were talking. The good ones, I understand the concept that the good ones should be shown, but you would show the good ones to convince the mental mindset of the public. The public's mindset already is defend cops no matter what. So showing the good shit doesn't mean nothing. They're already going to support.
I would like to say real quick. I was just gonna make a point real quick. How can he sit back and say that 98% when, man, the facts are right there in your face? You know, it's so close you can't even see it. It's right there in your face.
But like all of these instances that you can record, what percentage of that is of the entire national police force?
But there's a lot. There's a lot that's not recorded of police
But
beating
that's not. I mean, we can. But there's no evidence for that. You can say there's unreported cases, and I'm sure there are, but that's not an argument. That doesn't disprove the fact there's still 98% good cops.
All right, well, he gonna check this. We're Red. I'll do this because I want to be fair and not like I'll try to be equal about it. Okay, not gonna even take into account the unreported stuff. Throw it off the table. We're not even going to take into account the people that get deleted because that's the only thing they really show the most, the deleted ones. What about all the other shit where people's rights are violated? Because that's actually what makes up the majority of it. The exceptions are people getting deleted by the cops. People rights getting
how much of that is because of bad cops, or I should say not good cops?
No, that's it. Right there, you said it.
Versus, wait, hold on. What about the shitty ass local politicians that write these bullshit laws?
That's the thing I'm talking about. I'm not talking about a cop that actually is abiding by the law. I'm talking about all the ones where they actually are breaking the law. They're violating citizens' constitutional
Yeah.
rights. I'm talking about those because that's what actually makes up the majority of these interactions.
But
Not
if you
the
look in
deletions.
and listen, if you look into the police codes and the police policies of a lot of local counties, you'll find that they often violate constitutional rights. So
Exactly.
but that you can't really necessarily pin that on the cops then,
Yeah, you
because because the local city officials are the ones writing these police policies.
I get that, Red, but still, at the end of the day, who's enforcing the laws?
They're doing their job. I'm sorry.
Well, their job is to make a arrest. You know what I'm saying? They have to meet that quote. So they have to execute on that, find a reason, create a reason, whatever they got to do to make those arrests. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
So that's where you reform.
But that's where the
I'd agree maybe 50%. I'd say maybe 50% good.
Yeah, well, let me jump in here real quick. Let me jump in real quick since you said that, Red. So the reason why we're gonna say 98% of them are good is inaccurate. I ask you this, Red. How many times have you moved around and seen police parking in places that us as citizens can't park? How many times you have seen police actually speeding, going through lights, doing certain things that we know we can't as citizens do?
Of course. I've seen
Okay.
a lot of it. I don't think, but also seen a lot of cops not doing that. I see cop cars going by every day that are not doing that. So, like,
Cool.
I
Okay.
mean, we can't necessarily create a percentage based on this.
No, no, no. I'm not. No, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that makes them evil. I'm not saying that means that we should go against them for this simple shit. The only reason why
Correct.
the reason why I'm asking that question is because when we look at the oath that they took, the law that they're supposed to uphold, majority of the
The
time, let's keep it
Constitution.
real, we see police officers acting above the law, especially when we go to see the videos. We go to see how they talk to us. Not only that, they tell us to not be with the no snitching, we need to report things, right? But at the end of the day, how often do we find out about police not saying nothing? How often do we actually say, if you can go look at every police station in this country, there has been multiple reports of things going on and the police do not hold each other accountable?
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's
That
a
is the
closed
issue.
society.
That is
If
the
you ever
issue.
talk to police
Hold on. I'm about
officers,
to
it's like
land.
a college
Hold on.
frat.
Wait. Hold on. I'm gonna land, and I'm gonna let you finish. But real quick, the reason why Jay said that issue, Ms. Jackson said that issue, is because they took an oath. We're just citizens.
Yeah, and that oath, I mean, if you want to get into it, like I would say, the majority of cops in the United States are violating that oath. I agree 100%. However, they are following their own precinct's policies, which is the person that pays them at the end of the day. They don't get paid by the Constitution. They get paid by their precinct, which gets funded and allocated by their local city officials. And in these cases, and I agree, I see it all the time, cops acting above the law because you give them a badge, you give them that power. You're going to have people that abuse the power. The problem becomes when you want to, create all these farcical rallies that don't do anything but divide people, and you don't want to actually have a discussion about, okay, how do we reform this? What kinds of systems can we implement within policing, hiring police, training police? What can we actually do? And I don't really hear those arguments, but I'd love to have them.
But I think you're on the right track, Red, and I think we actually agree in the grand scheme of things. Look, yes, ultimately it's gonna be the politicians who allow these policies and whatever to stand. So these people can go out and do whatever they want. And the sad part, a lot of them violate their policies on the regular anyways. Like the policy don't even matter, they'll still cover each other. But that I want you to understand, like where we're coming from as black folks when we speak about this. It's like, okay, Pablo Escobar ordered a hit on me. You telling me I shouldn't be focused on the man that's trying to run the hit on me, just the person that ordered it? Because somebody's still coming to get me, though. I'm gonna have an issue with the person that's coming to get me and the people at the top. But the people at the top is the whole part of this
Right.
conversation, even right
But
now.
think
Is the
about it. Think
politics.
about it from a power perspective, a power politic perspective, if you will. If Pablo Escobar wants you taken out, it doesn't matter how many assassins you can delete. He's going to keep sending more.
Hey, okay, I got you. I got you. Well, here, I'm gonna hit you with one that might help you out even worse. Then there's no point in me even being on the internet, especially covering the conversation of women need to keep their legs closed, because we can just say, well, the men are the ones ultimately coming in and shooting it up. Would that sound right?
Well, no, because most of your audience is men anyway.
No, I'm just saying, period. Like in general, like, yes, I can understand that. Yes, this motherfucker is allowing this situation to happen. The politician, the woman. But you're saying like
No, they're not the
some of
woman in
them are
this situation.
executing.
They are actually the men. They are creating the situation. They are the child that they are bringing. The sperm, if you will. Their sperm is these bills and these allocations of funds and these policies that they write for the police precincts. A police department doesn't just spawn out of existence and make up their own rules. It's all created by the local city officials.
Well, here, I'll make sure, because I think this might be the disconnect. I'm not saying don't hold the politicians accountable, because that, like, literally, you know what I come from. Hold all these bitches accountable, Republican or Democrat. Doesn't fucking matter who party you're in. They the ones who need to fix it. And I don't just talk about presidents and all that shit all the time. Hold all the politicians accountable. But I'm also saying hold these motherfuckers out here that's violating American citizens' rights on the regular accountable too.
Sure, but
I'm
you could, if you go too extreme with that, not only are you're not going to stop that, cops are still going to violate people's rights, and a lot of cops are going to be afraid to actually do their job. So you get the worst of both worlds.
Well, here you go. Check this. We already have the dark side that you said, where people are just going to violate people's rights. They're already doing it. So we're just gonna, if in your situation, we'll just continue to keep doing that. Having people afraid to do their job. I've seen videos of
Well,
cops
because
afraid to
what's
do
the
their job.
solution? Just punish the police? Just punish the foot soldiers? They're gonna
Wait, hold on. Hold on. Let me jump in here real quick. Y'all have a great back and forth, but this is the thing, real quick, Red. What Jay is saying, and me and Ms. Jackson agree to this. If we already have these issues going, then you got the brother right there with all black on is saying, yeah, they need immunity. They already got too much, because if they didn't, then we wouldn't, or you wouldn't say what you're saying, and we all agree. We do need more, you know what I'm saying, better training, reform, and things of that nature. That's why we're having that discussion. It's because they need it. You know what I'm saying? They fucking up too much. And then you get like them saying all this crazy shit, you know what I'm saying? And it's mostly coming from the Republicans is they need more immunity so they're not scared to do their job. Overall, police are not scared to do their job. Overall, police are doing their job. Because if you said there are 98% of them are good and just doing their job, then they're already doing their job. The problem is the bad apples, and then what makes so many minorities look at them skeptical is because the ones that are supposed to be decent when they're there, they back them up on some bullshit. That's just like what you and Jay had seen that video where they already had the suspect in handcuffs in the back of the police car. Acorn hit the top of the damn car. The one officer started busting off. The
Yeah.
lady officer joined in. She didn't say,
Yeah,
"What
of
the
course.
fuck are you
Female
doing?"
officers. That's what I dealt with yesterday. And a couple months back when I got detained, I was like, God, please don't let an acorn fall. And all the cops started laughing. But I see what you're
You
saying.
see what I'm saying? So I think
I
we
definitely.
already having that conversation, and that's the medium we need to meet on. You know what I'm saying? So great discussion. Ms. Jackson, you got anything to say before I let the video play for a couple more minutes?
I'm gonna say I've had a lot of police encounters in my life, and I can count. Maybe I've met about three good ones. that I could say, just really care about the people and community and with a righteous character. About 3 that I can count, out the percentage out of pretty much my lifetime. But I did have a quick question for Red too. So like I'm just gonna use some real minor example, like traffic laws. Okay, so they have the under the department and their company they work for, they have the policy to do things in case of the emergency or a call. But just like if they just, riding around or patrolling, but y'all, they don't abide by the traffic laws, hit they blue lights, run the red lights, run the stop signs, do whatever they want to do for GP. You don't consider that hypocritical. They supposed to do that in a certain time, like I said, when they're called on their duty or emergency calls or whatnot. But just to do it because they can, because they got that badge. But if we do it, we're getting tickets or getting locked up all day. You don't see just in that little small minor imbalance, hypocrisy.
Of course, I see the hypocrisy, but an argument from hypocrisy is a fallacious argument, which means it doesn't prove your point, your positive position. But the way and to speak about all of this, like, oh well, the cops that I met, I've met less good cops than you. I only met 2, but I do see, in my personal experience, a lot of cops who are afraid to do their jobs. We had protests in Dearborn, Michigan, and people got really violent. People did some really bad things to local shops and stuff, and the cops literally just stood there because they're like, I'm not beating up a Muslim. You know what's gonna happen to me on mainstream TV? Hell no.
Yep.
Yeah, but I think that's most likely a minority, Red. I'm not gonna lie to you. From what I've been seeing, return reports, and we can talk about this in a little bit. Uh, a lot of times, it's the minority of those cops who are very concerned, and I give them some grace because they're not trying to be looked at as racist. They're not trying to be looked at as biased, gender bias, and all of that stuff. So I do give them some kind of grace. I think the main thing is what we need, and I'm gonna go to Lena real quick before we go back to the video. But I think what we need more of, so that way people like us can be more understanding, give more grace to police. If we have more police standing up for what's right, because we have plenty of videos and former officers and some that are officers right now that are speaking up and saying what's right. And I think we need to and just to be fair, maybe I'll do a couple of videos on that, Red, to show the police officers that are speaking up. But real quick, Lena, what's your thoughts on the video so far? Because we're gonna play a little bit more, but I'm gonna come back to you again.
Hello, hey, I've been watching a little bit, so I don't know a full thing, but I was just talking about the cops. I feel like the cops are like, I don't think they're trained properly or correctly. I like this one. I'll give you an example like this
You
one.
better check your tone, girl. Keep your inside voice on. So push your ass outside.
Hello, I'm sorry. It's one of those like one of the police academies that got busted for they were using all the target practices. They were black, for the people and stuff, the criminals. They was all black that they was practicing on, and I was like, that's subliminally teaching them that they suspects are gonna be black. So I believe with a lot of their stuff, they're not fully equipped or given the right education in order to perform their jobs correctly.
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about. Reform is something that's very important. And going back to something Red just said a moment ago, I totally agree that we do need to have more conversations. Just like I said, to defund the police. At first, I was like, yeah, maybe we need to, but then I started hearing more people say, no, we need to put that in context of what we're talking about. We can't just blindly do that. You know what I'm saying? Reform needs to be, the message. So we're just gonna let a moment play. People were having good conversation, then they just start going off the rail again. Miss Jackson, can you go ahead and mute for me because you got a lot of feedback right now.
All right.
So, but yeah, we're gonna go ahead and play a little bit more. Then Lena, I got a question I'm gonna ask you. So, Jay, go ahead and play the video.
police
They shot the lady
got shot in her house.
In the house,
right? We got to do something
Do
about
you make
that.
an exception for that?
Can we agree that there needs to be something that deals with that? I'm saying we need to. But what I'm saying is, but that is a very small. But what about the minute, less than 1%?
Speaking of
on a day-to-day basis.
Okay, now you're speaking of the minute percentage, right?
Yeah, man.
What about the stories that we don't see, that we haven't seen, that have been that nobody ever talked about it, but people in the city realize nobody want to talk about it, so they feel like they defeated, they can't win.
It's part of the reason why I wasn't a supporter of the Obama 21st Policing Act, because why? Body camera so we can just see black folks getting killed on camera in HD? They don't stop anybody from getting killed.
Well, I disagree.
Well, I think that would have.
What actually stops people from being killed is a complete transformation of how we do public safety.
But we
need more of us who's not body officers.
But we need body cameras.
I didn't say that's the solution, but that's a part of. We got to have body cameras. But we got, because that's the only way we're gonna see what needs to be said.
My challenge with that, Tez, is that we have allowed black politicians and white to pacify us and say, "Oh, okay, well, we got you body cameras." That
we still got more work to do.
And more black people have been killed. More black people have been killed by the police.
But brother, we still got more work to do. But we absolutely need the body cam. I just want to be clear about that. We got more work to do. We got more work to do. We need the right side approach. I just want to know, yes or no, do you support President Trump saying immunity for all police officers? It's just a simple yes or no. We can get to the solution on what it should be. Let's just talk about what it is. Do you support?
I want to point out that we cut the clip short because it's not just automatic federal immunity for all officers in which all these officers can run and cause chaos in our streets. There will still be a board that they have to answer to. There will still be cases like Sonia Massey, which they talked about at that conference as well, in which he said those policemen were not doing their job and those policemen would not be eligible for federal immunity. So like what you said, we need to keep the body cameras because when we're talking about does this officer deserve immunity for whatever complaint has been risen against him, we can check the camera for that. And then once we've checked this footage, now we can take it to this board.
But do you agree they should get immunity, yes or no? I just want to know that.
And the way that it was presented, in the way I'm talking about federal immunity in the way that it's presented with the board, not automatic, just let cops do whatever they want, which is what the narrative is. The actual policy is federal immunity, but there will be a process. Like with everything. I just wanted to that I can deal with that. Yeah. And wait, let me talk because John asked about what was an example. You think about, you see children walking around with black eyes and bloody clothes, and cops can't do anything about it because nobody said anything or the child has not admitted that anything has happened to them. And that point, if that cop decides to break the law to save the life of a child, I am with that. And yes, they can be immune for whatever kidnapping charge the parent tries to rise against them for taking the child because you were not taking care of said child. And again, I've seen how horrible some parents are to their children.
That also should go before a board too. A police officer at that particular time is not judge, jury, and executed.
I will say
that's the problem.
Though,
and so let's be clear about that. Let's be clear about that.
Yes.
It's not up to because the same way we're saying that it should go before a board and decide immunity, not immunity. Also, in the case of child abuse as well, I was a guardian ad litem in Florida for a very long time. It's not up to the police officer to be judge, jury, and executor. So when you say, "Oh, I believe you can do whatever because you hurt that child," and you should be no, we don't know.
He should be able to take the child.
Yeah, no, because that's judge, jury, and executor, and that's the child has a black eye, and that's the problem. That's the problem. And if a black man gets dragged out of the car and gets shot because he didn't let the window down fast enough, you say that should go before a board. So let's go that before a board.
It's gonna go before a board. At the end of the day, if a black man kills anybody, he's gonna have to go before a jury as well. So I'm not understanding.
We want to make one comment. Either we going before the board or we not.
I want to clarify.
We going before the board or we give it to somebody or we're not. I don't want no police being judge, jury, and executor. That's why we got the courts.
This policy that Trump is talking about, only extends to federal officers. Vast majority of police brutality cases take place with state and local police. So if you want to see safer streets where you are not concerned about having the type of run-ins with the police that many black people can talk about, it's a state and local issue, right? The president.
Wait a minute, hold up. We know that, but let's hold on.
No, everybody does not know.
I know that, but no.
You know that.
No, but we got to be clear though. When you're talking about something from the federal level, that can also trickle down to the state and the local.
Sure.
So let's not because when the sisters over here, thank you. No. Anytime, when you have somebody saying, "Let's get full immunity, let's be rougher with them, rough them up," that's a problem. Now you don't have to beat us. You say you don't want body cam. I ain't never heard no progressive say that.
No, I said. Hold on.
Yeah.
Also, what I said was, body cameras are not enough.
Right.
If you're not going to prosecute the people, if you're not going to prosecute the people when we see someone black being killed on film, what the fuck is the point of the body camera?
But we still need it though. No, I want the same page, but the way you presented it the first time.
Well, that's why I wanted to clarify.
No, that's what clarification is all about. Let's give some closing thoughts from our guests because we got to wrap up. We've been going way too long. Closing thoughts tonight on the actual debate.
On
Harris and Trump.
Yeah, on the actual debate. There's a person with a record of
all right, you can pause it.
Economic growth in this country. There's a person with a record.
All right, so we basically gonna close this out. We don't need to hear no more of that crap. But going back to you, Lena, real quick. From what you've seen, do you think? Because the rest of all of us agree 100% right now. Do you agree, or maybe you disagree? But do you think that the way the host was carrying? Oh, see, she out again. All right. So going back to you, Miss Jackson, because I think you did want to say something. I was just trying to finish out the rest of the video. But did you have something that you wanted to say before I start
Oh
the
no,
video back?
oh no, not really. Is it some noise you're hearing in the back on my end?
I said, do I think that
Yeah,
what? I had a
yeah,
question.
it does have a little feedback. But yeah,
Okay.
just when you're not talking, just go ahead and mute for us, okay? So Lena, from what you had seen, do you think the host was kind of being a little problematic because she was at like chaos is okay, they arguing, she's
I
starting the
feel like
argument,
she's
she's not letting people finish.
aggressive. I feel like she's aggressive. She's not welcoming. You have to
Right.
have opening questions, allow for dialogue and other people to talk. So if that's the case, you're not the host. You the person that's being interviewed. You the whole show. That's not the whole purpose. You're supposed to
Hmm.
interview and allow for dialogue.
But don't you think she's biased?
Huh?
Don't you think she's biased?
Do I think that she's what?
Biased?
Biased a little bit. A little bit.
Thank you, Miss
Like
Lena. That's
okay,
the
like
word I was
okay,
saying.
I'll
Thank you,
give you
Miss
this.
Lena. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, go ahead.
I
I
was
hear you
just saying
fine.
thank you, Miss Lena. That's the word I was looking for. Dialogue.
Uh-huh. Hey, Miss
Yes.
Jackson. Sorry, Miss Jackson. Woo.
You sound like Jay now.
Like if I was the host, I would have asked questions. I don't think Young Jack should have been almost silenced because talking over him and at him instead of to him, and it didn't like integrate and flow correctly like it should have. Like if I was the host, I would say, how do you feel? What do you think? What's your thoughts on this? You have opinion on this? Are you for or against? And to just let them have their, give their answer.
Yeah, I think going back to the question Red just asked you, I think that's what shows the biasness because she says she's independent, but anytime the Republicans try to say something, she want to cut them off. Anytime she was so bad that when both brothers, Republican or Democrat, was actually calming the conversation down, she jumped in to make it more chaotic again. And then Young Jock, he's a Democrat basically, but he's like, we got to talk. And I noticed when they started talking and agreeing, they started actually talking about solutions. Then she wanted to say, "Oh, we gonna get to solution." No, you didn't. You really did. Because at the end of the day, once everybody on both sides asked, because she was patting herself in the back. Oh, you never seen this on other. That's bullshit. It's been plenty of other channels that did the same thing. Complex had the same thing where it was black Democrats versus Republicans, and they was going at each other next. But at least the person that was moderating the conversation, and asking questions, wasn't doing this ignorant shit that she's fucking doing. So when Young Jock was saying, "Hey, when we started talking about what's going on with the illegal immigrants and what's not going on for our people," I noticed everybody was calm for a moment. Then it got thrown out. He should have said, "Bitch, you was throwing this shit out." So that's the problem. I'm saying we need to actually be able to have a conversation instead of when we go on whether Republicans channel or Democrats channel and then they doing all this back and forth. And that's what actually motivated me to be independent. So going to you, Red, I know you say you're not a Republican, but I do notice sometimes that, and I'm gonna throw this out there to everybody, not just you, Red, because you're a Republican, but I do notice a lot of times when you say somebody's being biased, you talking about how they act towards Republicans. So my question to you would be, um, you not caring about being a Republican, but you taking up for them. How does that really help you in your situation if you're not really for them or you don't really want to vote? Like why is it a good thing to
Because
take up for
because
them?
there's this thing called the Overton window, right? And the
Hmm.
Overton window, you got the right on this side and the right on the other side. But if the left goes too far, the entire window is shifted. So let's say, for example, Kamala wins and we have all Democrats, all liberals, all feminists, all this and that. In the year 2050, the Republicans are going to be like, yeah, I mean, we can accept 100 million illegals, but do they have to marry my daughter? Like, is that a state mandated thing?
Maybe
Republicans
not in my
only get
backyard.
Republicans only get less and less extreme every year, whereas liberals are getting more and more extreme in what they want. So, as an independent, it's the duty to keep the Overton window because you need two contrasts in a political system, not a two-party system, but a system with two contrasting ideals, where we're forming these bridges like those two guys were trying to do until the media trained harlot split it up. They were really agreeing with each other for about 15 seconds, but after she opened her mouth, they were arguing with each other like children 5 minutes later.
Well, I mean, to be honest with you, I would have to disagree with you because in actuality, I'm 40 years old, so I've been around long enough to see how it was more so the Democrats acting the fool than Republicans. So I gotta say, Republicans are digressing even more these days because when you look at that brother and sister that was on this panel about 10 years ago, or a little more than 10 years ago, you would not have seen black conservatives acting that way because their thing was, we say something, we're gonna be outcast. We're not trying to do that with our own people. We love our people. So now we see that more, whether black or white. So I would have to, respectfully agree to disagree on that. But at the same time, if you're not a Republican, what does it matter more so to take up for Republicans versus independents? Right?
Well, I'm not sure. I'm not sure that it's that Republicans are acting a different kind of way now. I think more people are just waking up to the mainstream talking points that everyone's supposed to follow. That just happened to be Democrat because we had an 8-year term, and a lot of media institutions are put in place. A lot of people stay behind the scenes, no matter who the president is. So these are the institutions we're up against. It's not a left or right, it's a uniparty. They're all controlling us and dividing us equally. However, when we can build these bridges, it only makes us stronger. That's why we gotta gaslight, gatekeep, and girl boss bitches like this the fuck out of our spaces.
Okay. Now, like I said, we have to respectfully disagree because I remember coming up, conservatives wasn't on this tomfoolery like Democrats, and I don't have no problem with them speaking up. It's just the erratic shit because now they looking like Democrats, in my personal opinion. But going to you, Miss Jackson, do you support Democrats? And if so, why not more so support being independent? Because we see historically both sides have fucked us over. So what's your opinion on that? Do you support the Democrats more? If you do, why not, lead a plantation?
Right. So independent party is where it's at. I support more of it. Just I guess with the options that we're left with in the debate, I would wing towards the Democrat Party. You know, in voting or in my support, it would be democracy, but independent is where it's at all day. Independent Party. I never really heard them talk about the debate. I mean, they did some good political topics and subjects, but I never even heard them even talk about the debate, and that's what the show was supposed to be about. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, to answer your question, independent party.
Cool. Okay. All right. Going to you, Lena. So I do know you are a Democrat, but my question would be to you: why is it that you think that's better to stick with a Democrat as black people versus being more independent, where we're gonna vote more on the policy versus just worrying about who's Democrat, who's Republican, and we just gonna go with the Democrats? You there, Lena?
Good
Okay,
answer.
I'm gonna I'm gonna go ahead and go to Jay because Lena probably got to get out there together or she working or something. So Jay, we know the shit that we talk. So what's your thoughts on that, man? Reiterate for the people that don't get it when we made the show like, hey, both are plantation and we need to leave both.
Okay.
Oh, okay, there she go. All
I'm
right,
sorry.
did you
Repeat
hear
that.
my question, Lena?
So much is going on in my house. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right, cool. I'll repeat it real quick. I know you're a Democrat, but my question would be to you. We know the history. We've done the videos many times. that both have been plantations to black folks. It was good starting out to get our votes, but now they get complacent and they think they're just gonna get our votes. So why stick with either plantations versus being independent and going with what party that has the best policies? Not meaning aligning with the party, but when it comes to certain individual candidates, we need to just go off policy versus just going off us being Democrats.
I see what you're saying, and they have been giving offers less we did after the last election. Only thing we got was a holiday. But I feel like we get more bang from our buck with Democrats. Statistically, blacks do better underneath Democrats. Also, I was looking at what's happening. Like I think Dr. Umar Johnson addressed it. We are losing a lot of political power because our our rate of growth in the country is basically the same. I think it's 12, 1400 or whatever, but you got so many uh people that are seeking to be citizens uh with this country, so they're offering them money. So we are fighting for that person's uh votes or them to address issues. Why would they come to black people if we got a smaller demographic than Hispanics that are coming here? You see what I'm saying? Dr. Umar, he's like they're using Hispanic vote to get rid of the black vote.
Okay, but I mean, like I said, like if you look
I
at
mean,
just
yeah.
being real, when you hold on, Red, when you look at the stats, you look at the cities that have majority of black people most of the time. Detroit, St. Louis, Dallas, you know what I'm saying? You look at Chicago, you look at all these certain places, New York, you know what I'm saying, Buffalo, you look at all these places, Miami, Orlando, Jacksonville especially. We got a lot of things that's going on that's bad for our people that's not getting worked out. And these are a lot of times Democrat ran places. So how do we fare better under them? Is it them and not really working with us in the policies? Or does that mean that us as black folks just need to do better? Do we need to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps like Republicans say?
No, I think we need if we had help in destroying the black community and so many things that's happening, we're gonna need help to be pulled up by the bootstraps. And so many other cultures that came to this country got it. They given immigrants from other countries money and help. Why can't they help the American citizens that they destroyed? I don't believe with the Republicans about pulling uh yourselves up by the bootstraps. 'Cause it's bullshit. They don't believe themselves. You see all the corporate welfare they gave out and companies that they bailed out, especially when that housing market crashed. Didn't tell those companies to pull up those banks and stuff. They didn't tell them pull themselves up by the bootstraps. They gave them money. It seems like money and welfare is only cool if you're wealthy. When you poor, it's get off your ass.
That wasn't the question.
You said should
No,
we pull
no,
ourselves
she
out?
answered. No, she answered the way I needed her to. So this is the thing, real quick. But I'm about to go to Jay after this. I'm gonna make this statement and go to Jay. So I hear what you're saying, Lena. But the problem is when you look at it with both sides, when black folks were doing good, we were doing better under Republicans, right? But the problem was when things that were going wrong, Republicans didn't do what they needed to do to keep our votes. That's the complacency. Then when you see what happened with Democrats, once we got more with them in the 60s under JFK, what ended up happening? They gave out welfare and all of this shit, and a lot of us took it. A lot of us wanted the integration and all of that stuff. Then once we got that, things got worse in our communities. We just got complacent and lazy like a motherfucker. But going to you, Jay, go ahead and break it down how you only you know how to do. I ain't gotta say shit. Go ahead.
So we've been talking about it for a long time, and I still to this day have people that I'm trying to convince of it. Me personally, I don't fuck with neither one of them niggas, Democrats or Republicans. People still to this day say, "Oh, you're a liberal because your views." I'm like, bitch, I got conservative views. I'm over there. I'm over there with them boys when it's like the abortion shit. I'm over there with them boys when we say we need to lock up our border. But I'm also over there with motherfuckers when it's like, bitch, we talked about the police. We talked about Well, I ain't gonna say reparations. It's a liberal thing, but motherfuckers liberals ain't gonna goddamn do it. But when it comes to the grand scheme thing, like it's beautiful that we actually can. This is actually how you should have a conversation. This is a prime example of how to do it again, and not the people that's getting paid all this motherfucking money, because we pretty much saw that we had a ratchet ass. I'm calling her ratchet, and people tell me I'm being mean to her. She was ratchet, and she had that I'm a big dog type mindset. She wasn't the boss bitches, and that doesn't. It's not conducive to a conversation, especially about stuff that's supposed to be important to folks that look like us. Not you, Red, but folks that look like us. Got to make sure I made that distinguish. But nah, like
I'm albino.
you ain't albino. You a white black person.
Yeah.
You a white black person that don't like black people. That's the perfect way to
Not
put it.
all.
I'm sorry.
Hashtag not all.
Not all.
Why don't lives matter?
But no, like no bullshit. Like that was a bad representation, and that's Diddy's old shit. Revolt, that's his old shit. And this is what they constantly keep putting. When I know Red alluded to it about
Oh, dude,
the
this
media
was really
brainwashing.
Diddy's. You're right. Diddy did start this.
But it's not, he not a part of it no more. When this happened, he wasn't a part of it no more. But this is his shit. But alluding back to your point, the media manipulation when it comes to shit and the representation that it shows. It's showing that ain't showing black people in the best light at all. Literally putting niggas on there and saying, look, black folks, this y'all. And it's the same thing when it comes to our news, when it comes to everything, the entertainment that we looked at. Because we even heard two of them bitches on there talking about Glorilla was their girl. Oh, I love Glorilla. You talking about fuck nigga Freed standing in front of Planned Parenthood talking about aborting their kids? That's the bitch you talking about?
Yeah.
The brainwashing is on level 10, but like my thoughts are like when it comes to this, like me and Op, we have the same understanding. Like fuck both of these bitches. Republicans, I'm not looking for them to save us. I'm not looking for Democrats. And I might only start looking at one of them to save us when one of them actually say they're gonna do something for us as black people. Like everybody else, like all other races of people, man, that's y'all handle your own shit like y'all been doing on the regular. But for black folks, I
Hold
need
hold
black
on, Miss
folks to
Jackson. Mute your mic real quick. I'm gonna come to you next, but mute your mic. We still getting feedback. Go ahead, Jay.
I'm just saying for black folks, like we need to be the ones that actually finally come to the party because we're the only ones that haven't came to the party and actually ask for shit for ourselves. Like that black dude that she told her, like, yeah, you go and get up out of here, whatever the hell. His final thoughts was, what is Kamala gonna do for black people? Well, the question need to be, what are either one of them gonna do for black people? And that's something that none of them have said. Literally, the only person you had even mentioned somebody like us is saying Kamala saying like, "Nah, I'm not gonna do nothing for y'all. I'm gonna just do shit for all Americans, and because black people so poor, they'll get something because I'm doing something for everybody else." But nah, it's not. Nah, we need to. Y'all know what we need to do. I can't beat that dead horse. It's your show. You got it. I can't keep beating that dead horse. I'm getting a headache.
Yeah, so Jackson, I see you muted because you were ready to say something. So Jackson, go ahead.
What one thing I did want to say, I did agree with a comment the black lady said about abortion. That overall black women are keeping their babies. So if you look at the percentage and the rate, that's not too tough going on in the black community as far as abortion goes. But I was just speaking on that. I thought about it, crossed my mind, but that's pretty much a true statement. As far as black women, they're keeping their babies. But yeah.
Stop at this. He must have thought you was gonna talk for a
No,
second.
no, no, no. Yeah. So actually, I hear what you're saying, Jackson, but this is what's the issue. So we're seeing the birth because even Lena spoke about this maybe a few weeks ago. So the amount of babies that black women are having these days, that number is going down. So I'm not gonna say it's all to deletion of babies, but some of it is.
A
So
lot of it is deletion
that
of babies. A lot of it is going to college, being a boss bitch.
Exactly.
The
So
fertility rate is now officially below replacement for the Black community.
Next say something while I'm talking is getting shot. Please believe that.
So I hear what you're saying, Jackson, but this is the problem. A lot of times that is a lie. They do when they come to our community. That is what they speak to. But just like Michaela said, and I don't even care for her that much. But just like she said, which was some real shit, they they categorize it and they color it up with saying reproductive rights. I've had so many conversations with black women that have argued, oh, it's my body, my choice. But then when we say, no, don't give the government that right. Don't sit there and tell me that should be in a healthcare plan. Don't sit there and tell me that you don't want control of what they do, but you mean to tell me you go do some stupid shit and you want them to clean it up. As a matter of fact, you want them to pay for it. But at the same time, they will argue with men, all races of men in this country, that say, okay, well, if that's the case, then we should be allowed to have a financial abortion. If not, then when the baby's born, whether we're married or single, we should have the right to get a DNA test for free. And then we would hear women scream and holler and cry from the mountaintops. No, they don't need to pay for that. So my thing is, it's bullshit. It's wrong for our communities. If you know about Margaret Sanger and all these, they started in the black community with the abortions. That's the only way she got away with that shit because the white community was not going for that shit at first. So that lets you know with all the abortions that we had over time, that we're still having to this day, or whether our sisters that are deciding to, I'm gonna be a boss bitch and not get married, have a family, but still might go out and have babies. So there are some still doing it, of course. But at the same time, it's hurting our community, and we have to be honest about it. That it is happening in our community, and it is our women that is following behind that bullshit.
Yeah, it started off, like I said, I agree. It definitely started off in the black community. But of course, it didn't become a serious problem till that crossed over to the other races. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I was just kind of looking at the majority out of the percentage. And I don't think from where it originally started, I don't think the percentage is as high now in the black community than in others.
Yeah, right now
Okay.
it might be different. I ain't gonna hold on that. Like right now, I ain't gonna hold on. The thing that I think a lot of black men and me and I were gonna stress on, you heard the guy earlier say 25 million. That's crazy. That's crazy. And the other guy said, I ain't worrying about what white people doing. I'm worrying about what we doing. That's the big issue. Like if we gonna sit here and argue for what we want as black folks, what we need as a community, like look, and we gotta address the problems in our own too. And it's like I don't give a fuck what them white women doing. At the end of the day, what we doing? Like what are we doing? What the black men doing? Fuck what the white dudes doing. What we doing as black men? So it's like I think that's gonna be the point that a lot of black dudes fall on when it comes to the issue. But I feel you. It ain't like right now. Hell, it ain't. There's levels to this shit. There's levels to this shit, and black women ain't winning that race right now. Right now, but they was killing it.
Let me ask you an alpha question. So if Donald Trump came out and said, you know what, in all the states that allow abortions, I'm going to write a federal bill that means men can have financial abortions to the equivalent. Would you vote for Trump?
Nah, that ain't enough.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, that ain't enough. And the reason why I say that, even with DeSantis saying in my state of Florida that he's trying to give more rights to fathers, still does not mean I'm gonna vote for him. We need a little bit more because it's certain things that when it comes to us as black people, even if people still look at me and Jay and think, oh, you're misogynistic and all of this bullshit, the things that we want overall benefits the black community. And I'm sorry to say that, but this is some real shit. Me and Jay is not scared to say this. When black women vote overall, they're not voting for things that are better and beneficial for the black community as much as black men do. So even though it's a smaller number, it's not that much smaller. But even though it's a smaller number of black men that vote compared to black women, whether it's Democrat, Republicans, or whatever, black men still overall vote for more things that are beneficial to the black community. So I couldn't
Facts.
vote just for that to get Trump. You know what I'm saying? So if he said more things that help our community, yeah, he'll get my vote. Like I said with the reparations, if he spoke more to that, hey, since we got all this money to give to these illegal immigrants, we're gonna be clear. We're not just saying immigrants who are legal and doing the process and doing shit that they supposed to. But illegal immigrants, hell yeah, he get my vote. I walk around. Nah, I ain't gonna say I walk around with a Trump hat, because I still wouldn't walk around with a Obama. I ain't got no Obama shirt. I ain't got no Obama picture next to white Jesus on my wall. None of that shit. But I would not mind saying, "Hey, Trump did do this. He did that, whether you like it or not." And you agree to this, Red. I'm always consistent on this shit. I'm gonna tell the
Yeah,
truth on both sides. I'm
but
independent, so I
I
give
think
fuck
you
how they feel.
would be walking around with a Trump hat if Trump was like,
Man,
you know,
you
they
can't do
spent
that.
180 billion a year on those illegals. Fuck it, we're giving it to the blacks. You would walk around with a Trump hat.
Hey, look,
I
no
don't know about
bullshit
this.
though. Look,
Some of it.
I got one coming in the mail. So look, you can't get mine. You can't get mine. I would have went off of Tebow just to have it, just to fuck with people. But nah, like
Timu mega hat.
Red, I think most black dudes are really focused on upward mobility. So if we got those reps, or we got the honestly, they could do reparations in a lot of forms, but it's gonna have to be cash payments. I don't give a fuck. And yes, our ladies will get that by proxy if black men are arguing for it. But like upward mobility,
By
man, when it comes
proxy,
to
so will I.
well, it actually wouldn't even be by proxy, because it's gonna be straight up everybody that's a descendant of a slave gonna get it. So that's black women and black men. But like upward mobility would be the only other thing. If Trump came out, look, even if he just came out with reparations, like he could get my vote. But I know what party he represents, and I know Democrats' deep dark secrets, if that makes sense. So fuck them both.
Yeah,
Fuck them
yeah.
both.
Until that. Matter of fact, no, I'm gonna ask that question. That's a good question, Red. So I'm gonna pose that to the ladies on the panel. So going to you, Jackson, first. If Trump came out and say he gonna give black folks reparations, would you vote for him?
Okay, break that down to me. What you mean by reparation?
Okay, so here's
Meaning
what it
all the
is.
Hey,
money,
financial
all the
All the
payments,
money.
brother.
money.
Financial payments.
Hold on, Red. Hold on. I got this. Red. So Jackson, what I'm saying is reparate the same way they're able to give all this money to the illegal immigrants. Say you can get $13,000 or something like that, or money to help you buy your own house. Say like two
No, it's
hundred thousand dollars or something like
$180 billion a year. And instead of spending that money on illegals and migrants, we spend that money on reparations.
Next say something while I'm talking is getting shot. Please believe that.
Thank you, Jay. So like I was saying, Jackson, instead of them giving all that money to illegal immigrants, they spending millions to billions of dollars. But that can go to us, whether it's cash payments or whether it's money to in the form to help you buy a home. You know what I'm saying? Would that make you vote for Trump?
No, by that principle alone, no. Because one thing I agreed about, I think it was one of the Christian ladies, not the first Christian lady, the second, the one that got up and checked the first Christian girl. She said it's about character, and she was talking about the Bible, but you judge a person by the fruits. You'll know them by their fruits. The Bible say Martin Luther King Jr. said it. You will judge them by the content of their character. So, I mean, a person could throw out a person could throw out a good policy. You know what I'm saying? Even put in some good moral laws or whatever, like they doing in the Project 2025 with the Christian commandments or whatever, or scriptures in the Bible. But does that define character? No. So it'd take a little bit more than that to win me over.
Okay, well let me ask you this question: when you go for a job, do you look into the CEO and try to find out the content of their character, or do you worry about what they're going to pay you?
Well, you'll learn that if you work for them, you will learn that. But no, I mean, we have to work to get a living, to build a living. So yeah, overall, you're looking to earn a living. when you look for work and look for a job, and make sure, you know, the benefits is right. I mean, their character really will speak for itself too, because if they're going to pay you right, the position you have, the perform you have to task, the benefits that if they offer, that'll show their position and their character as well, you know, off the rip.
That's
And the
a
reason why I
very,
say
very good question. I
the
really like
reason
that
why
question.
hold on. Yo, I got you. I got you next, Red. You know I got you. But the reason why, Jackson, I asked that question is because so many people have worked for companies for years and found out they was racist. That's just like Donald Sterling, who owned the LA Clippers. He paid his NBA players well. They didn't find out years later that he was racist publicly. A lot of players did not see that. So the reason why I asked that question is because also you got to keep in mind this. This is a business deal decision. When we talk about character when it comes to politicians, you got to always remember, Jackson, and I'm going to go to you next, Red. Jackson, you always got to remember, these motherfuckers is some of the most hypocritical, dangerous discussing by, listen, Obama had people knocked off that we couldn't believe Obama did. We thought he was great. We looked at his family, Sasha, Melinda, Michelle, and all of that shit. Kind of find out he was doing more things wrong that we did not know shit about. So I think that might be something you may want to ponder on, because when
Well,
we
that
talking
was
about
my
reparations,
point. That's my point exactly. And hell, when we come to politics, they all hypocrites and tell lies. And you know, but I mean, I understand what you're saying. Is you're looking out for you and your family. You know what I'm saying? In the community and society. So I mean, I get it. But just look who you talking about in itself, and him showing who his true colors as a billionaire, and that's all he gave a fuck about. If he came up with that one policy, it would take more than that to win me over. Now that's my position.
I hear, but I would say this before I go to Red. I don't know if you're gonna vote for Harris or not, but a lot of people that are saying they're gonna vote for her because they would rather deal with her versus, or they like her character and personality better than Trump. Problem
Well,
with her is
I
she
had
not
told
gonna
my
give her
story
shit.
before I was saying, not to interrupt, I told my story before, you know, I lost my rights at 18 on that note.
But if you could, who would you vote for?
Well, you know, me and you around the same age, but
there
I
we go.
got you by a little bit more. And I mean, it's good we having this open discussion, don't get me wrong. But just like in a generation and the way I was raised, you know, that's something we was taught. You don't discuss that. That's kind of really personal. But I mean, hey, to answer the question, it would be Democrat. Yeah, I would vote Democrat, you know. But you know, we had the discussion earlier. Really, overall, is independent party. That's what it said.
Right. And the reason why I asked that question, you already know, that is something that we have to start pondering on, because if we go off character when it comes to politicians, and the fact that Kamala will say she ain't gonna do shit for black people, we see what she's doing for Indian people, LGBT. If you say if you, because I got, you know what I'm saying, my godmother's in that community, other family members, but at the end of the day, they put black folks first. So if we're talking about something that helps the whole community, we have to look at her weirdly on the shit that she says. If we're talking about something when it comes to reparations, and Trump said he gonna do that for our people, and we putting personal shit aside, putting ourselves first, because like Red just asked, if he said what he would do for us as men, we like no. But if we talking about reparations for all our people, yeah. So
What
go to
if
you, Red. Answer.
if I compare that to white supremacists and a rich billionaire? Then of course I'm gonna go with the
Well,
other
think,
part.
hold on, but think about it. But hold on, real quick, because I want to go to Red. But real quick, think about this though. Abraham Lincoln so-called freed the slaves, but he didn't. He did that because he wanted to bring an industrial revolution or whatever. He didn't do that to free us because he actually thought it was wrong. He actually ran the fourth time when he actually won. The first three times he said he wasn't gonna do shit for us. So he did that to go ahead and do a great thing for this country and white Americans. So at the same time, when blacks came and got free, what they did, they started giving their votes to him. So Republicans was doing things for us because it was a business deal. So I'm just
That
saying
was
we got to
my
start looking at it like that.
that was my point though. Go ahead, Red.
Well, it is a
That's all I'm
business
saying.
deal,
But Red,
and
go
that's
ahead
why it
and
should be a business transaction. Political power functions as a business transaction, and no matter who you work for, I'm sure all of your CEOs will have some skeletons in their closet. But to quote Malcolm X, it's like the wolf versus the sheep. The Democrat is the fox, not the sheep. Sorry, the Democrat is the fox, and the Republican is the wolf. Now, who would you rather negotiate with? The person with a knife behind their back, or the person who shows you everything on their sleeve?
So I see red. You already get it. we need basically, and I'm actually I'm gonna go to you, Jay. If you got anything to say before I end it. Good. Okay. So
Now
basically,
let's hit the final thoughts.
all right, cool. Yeah, that's where I'm gonna go. I'm gonna closing thoughts, and then I'm gonna let y'all talk. So real quick, appreciate y'all coming up here. Y'all our soldiers and our rider. Shout out to you, Jackson, Red, even Lena. These the consistent panelists. But yeah, it was a good show. I'm so sorry, and I appreciate y'all for staying around. That did with all that bullshit, them headache. And I told you I had me a
It was
drink.
interesting.
I started pouring up. I started pouring up as soon as we hit the damn start the countdown because I already knew what time it was. But it still was a good show. What we had to say, like Jay said a moment ago, we show how you supposed to have a fucking conversation, even though people may not agree fully on everything. But we still had a real dialogue back and forth as a panelist, and we need to start seeing more like this. You know what I'm saying? We have our bullshit moments when we do what we do and shit like that on our show from time to time. But it ain't like that where every time you try to say something, it's so bad one motherfucker be thinking in the head, I ain't coming back this motherfucker no more. But shout out to everybody out there who actually want to go with policies over parties. We need to start doing that more often. So real quick, we're gonna give final thoughts. Uh Jackson, what's your final thoughts on the buffoonery we watch? But also, what's your thoughts on when it comes to how we need to move forward as a people and trying our best to pick what's right for us and policies.
Well, I believe in final thoughts. On that note, is we learn what not to do, how not to behave. You carry yourself with class and morality, and how can we build this country off of home and God we trust, home of the free and home of the shit. I'm getting it mixed up. The free and the brave. For the free and the brave, and how can we sit back and base our nation on these principles? You know what I'm saying? And look how people carrying on. So it's we learn what not to do in a nutshell, how not to be. But it was all in all, they touched on some real important, serious topics that needs to be discussed. And need to be addressed and get some solutions to. And but overall, unity, power and unity. And it seemed like it'll take a miracle from God up above to just destroy the whole empire and do away with this two different uh uh policies, and Democrat and Republican and independent parties is where it's at. But I believe with unity and everybody on one accord, nothing is impossible.
All right, going to you, Red, because you sounded like you was a little embarrassed for us black people with this display. But what's your thoughts on the shit we watched and also the discussion we had tonight?
Man, it's difficult. It's difficult to analyze this, but there's a lot of what we're seeing right now is playing out as a result of the power politics in this country. And as long as these power politics stay the way they are, nothing's ever going to change. But when we have discussions, and for example, uh, the fact that maybe I'm just a demoralized white man, but I look at all the money we're spending on Ukraine, Israel, and now illegal immigrants, and I'm just like, fuck it, give it to black people. At least those are Americans. But the branch of unity here is that money should be fucking spent on Americans, period. And that's where the independence movement, I believe, can derive strength from.
All right, JVJ, what's your final thoughts, man?
I did want to ask Red. Some Americans are could it possibly be some Americans, or does it have to be all Americans?
Well, historically, revolutions are only started by like
No,
3% of the population.
not the revolution, the giving part.
What do you mean?
Well, you did didn't you allude to like you would rather instead of them giving it to the Ukrainians or whatever, give it to Black Americans, but it should go to all Americans. Would you be okay with it going to some Americans, or does it always have to go to all Americans?
It doesn't matter as long as that's my point. That's where we agree. The fact that it should go to Americans, period. Then we can have the conversation of who goes to who gets these extra benefits. But the area where we all agree is that it shouldn't be going to Ukraine, Israel, and illegals.
We definitely agree with that. My final thoughts, like, look, man, it was a ratchet conversation. These people need to stop. I know who these people are at the top. They need to stop putting bad representations of people that they want to keep in certain positions on the media to go out here and literally be the spokesperson, or the goddamn the mascot for a group of people. It was a bad representation of Black people, and I know there'll be some white person in a suburban neighborhood in Midwest Iowa or some shit like that that will come across this shit and be like, "Yeah, that's how they are," and that's not the case. That's them motherfuckers up on that panel. But in the grand scheme of things, like, we're in the presidential election season, man. Um, I'm a stand on where I stand when it comes to like fuck both of them, but like for real, man, I'm ready to see what America's actually gonna choose. Will America get over that hump and actually pick a woman, or are they gonna go back to this dude that I think has major problems? But I think both of them have major problems, anyways. But are they gonna pick a woman, or are they gonna pick him? I'm ready to see. Honestly, I really am ready to see. What we talked about this last night, but so
Would you rather put your life in the hands of a random man or a random woman?
What's the situation?
I don't know. Maybe you're lost in the woods and you need someone to guide you out.
Yeah, well, guide me out. Shit, I don't want to go with exception. I'm gonna sound like one of
Exactly.
Clearly I'm picking man. Like I can't gotta keep it honest, but yeah, how random is that? But either way though, yeah, I have to pick a guy, but it's kind of fucked up for me because I'm like, I know how to get out of the woods. So it's kind of fucked up to put myself in a position of not
What if
knowing
it's
how to get the
Alaska?
fuck out.
It's Alaska.
Use a better illustration.
It's like that's a super hypothetical for me.
Yeah, use a
I'm
better illustration.
Like
Yeah,
my life is on the
you're
line.
lost. Yeah, your life's on the line. You're dying of starvation. You're in the middle of the Alaskan tundra.
Next say something while I'm talking is getting shot. Please believe that.
I didn't do it.
Yeah, Ops pushing these buttons. I already know. But if you're lost in the Alaskan tundra, who are you trusting? Who are you trusting?
Next say something while I'm talking is getting shot. Please believe that.
Finish your final thought, Jay.
I got your final thoughts. To answer Red's question, obviously I'm gonna pick the man if it's a life or death situation. But y'all heard it, man. That's a bad representation of us, and we really need to be more hyper focused, regardless of which party you're rooting for. What is the federal government gonna do for you? I don't care what race you are. That should be your number one priority. All that other shit is just cupcake shit. People act like they give a fuck about their fellow Americans. They'll shoot their fellow Americans. What are they gonna do for you? And if your politicians ain't working for you, what the fuck are they doing? Why are they taking our money? And like Red said, it'll trickle down. We can get to the police, we can get to the schools, we can get to everything because they're the ones at the top. So yeah, fuck them all unless they doing something for you. You ain't telling me you doing something for me, you ain't getting my goddamn vote. Final thoughts.
That's real talk. So
I
we about to
keep
go ahead and close out, y'all. Jay, you can drop the link again for anybody who wanna come up for the back chat. But
Oh,
appreciate
the after
y'all
party.
coming up.
Why you trying to invite
Yeah,
everybody to the
after
after
the
party,
party,
man?
after the show. They'll have about 5 minutes to kick the bobo. But appreciate everybody for watching. Appreciate everybody for coming up. Y'all don't forget your boy Big Op. I mean, you can still go to my regular channel to God when I get it back, which is Op for the North 18. But Big Op 2024 is where I do my content for now. Red Illusion, y'all can go check him out at Red Illusion. Jackson, you still don't do shows, right?
Yeah, I'm working on it. I'll be coming up here pretty soon.
All right, for sure. And y'all already know with JVJ. Let's talk with JVJ. But right now we here on the JVJ Network. If y'all really want to fuck with all of us, come over here, man. Make sure y'all like, share, and subscribe. Jay, man, you already know how we close this thing now, man. Do what you do.
Oh, you want me to do it? This
Go ahead,
man
do
don't
what you
want to. He don't want to click the button. We catch y'all in the next one as always, man. Peace.